Hey y'all.
Hello.
It's a
Hello.
Sunday. It is a shift.
Happy Sunday.
Shift.
You can. You know what I watched? I'm sorry, I'm gonna get us flagged.
No, tell us. What did you watch?
I watched Hocus Pocus 1 and 2.
Oh, don't get us flight. I'm watching two when we get done recording.
I
No,
sorry, it was not. I fell asleep.
it wasn't giving.
It was not giving.
You
Okay.
can't go home.
Say it was not giving entertainment.
It's spooky season, so my plan today, to be honest, because my organization was shut down last week, but I did, the day without us stuff last week. Which shout out to all of. Let me just tell you, some Twitter fam like showed up. It was so beautiful. Somebody had like posted that they like donated. I cried. I was emotional. It was a lot. But like, don't let anybody tell you that Soap Twitter is just toxic. That's not true. People on Soap Twitter showed up for me harder than some of my IRL friends showed up for me for both my birthday and for Day Without Us. So just like shout out to y'all, specifically Jazz and Julie who were like tweeting along. It was amazing. Um, but so I'm off next week. And I'm really excited to just watch a bunch of witchy stuff tonight. So in Q is Hocus Pocus 1, 2, and The Craft.
It was very Disney. No,
Oh,
no, let's say I have friends. I don't watch scary movies. I do not. I watch horror. I don't like seeing ads during non-scary movie shows and movies. I don't like it. But I watch Disney movies all the time.
mhm.
So I don't want to say anything more to spoil the fun for you, but
Here's also the thing about me, and I don't know about you, Tara. I watch bad things. I mean, evident by the fact that I love GH. Like, but like, no, like I'm the person who I will watch something and I take very serious like my recommendations for stuff. So like I will say to somebody like, "Oh, I watched this and it was not good, but I enjoyed it." Because I enjoy things that are not good. I watched the whole Christmas Prince trilogy, loved every minute of it. I love bad Christmas movies. Ugh, so good. I love them. Um, what was the last really bad thing? Me and Sandra are probably the only people on earth who have consumed Four Weddings and a Funeral, the miniseries, as much as we have. It's like one of my like I'm just like, huh, it's been like a couple months. I haven't watched it. And I'll
look at
watch
your
all seven
face.
episodes.
Slightly.
It's the judgment for me. Hey Tara.
I'm all down for like I like myself a disappointing reboot. Like, like Hollywood got the formula the first time and they try to recreate the magic and it ends spectacularly bad. Like I love that. Like I watched the entire reboot of Gilmore Girls, and not only was I proven right that Rory Gilmore don't have it, she ain't Mitchum Huntsberger, true hero of the Gilmore Girls series, she didn't have it. That's what we learned in the reboot. But also just how racist they were. I was like, oh, just like it wasn't of the times. It was just y'all being colonizers. Like super proud of their colonizing past. They were like, my family landed in Jamestown. I was like, ooh, I wouldn't be telling people that. But so yeah, I mean, I'm down. I mean, that's my whole thing with like Hocus Pocus. Like, it's like a cute little moment, and then when you take it to 2022, it's like, ooh. So we got witches. Are they looking for virgins? Are they trying to eat children? But then this is Disney producing this, so it's not going to get as deep like it needs to. And then also these women are 25 years older, so like we have to now assume that they were in a sleep for 25 years and aged during that sleep.
Yeah,
Even though they didn't age for 400 years in the first one, the logic doesn't logic anymore. And like those would be the things that took me out. So like, but normal people wouldn't take them out. So like if people are, because you are not the first person I've heard that from, Tonya, that like it's not giving.
right.
Then it has nothing to do with that. It's like the story isn't giving, but it's also like one of those things. Like at this point, it's so a part of our cultural lexicon that everyone has to watch it. Like we have to hate watch it. Like we might get a Hocus Pocus 3 just because we're all required to watch it, so it will make numbers.
So here's something about me. I am the audience for a reboot. There has not been a reboot that I have not enjoyed, even when it's bad. I watched anytime Fuller House drops, I'm there. Okay, there, and we'll watch the whole season in one sitting. Okay, I loved it. I watched How I Met Your Father, loved it. Hilary Duff, my girl, Hulu, let's do it, loved it. I'm trying to think of like other reboots that nobody watched but me, but I love a reboot. Like I am there, reboot it, and I will come.
If they had got either of the Olsen twins chain smoking on Fuller House, I would have watched it. Like Candace Burr, no, I will not be supporting.
I know. I don't want to talk about it, but I watched it the whole time. I watched it. I loved it. They had her back with Steve. I said, "Oh, you bringing Steve back? Aladdin?
Aladdin?
As problematic as that shit is? Say less. I'm there."
You're funny.
I am your problematic friend. I'm there.
It depends like how loyal I was to the franchise from the beginning. And I didn't watch Hocus Pocus 1, but everyone kept talking about it and was like, this is like a fandom of this generation, and because they didn't watch it because they like I saw the interview with the actresses and they were like, nobody watched it. It bombed in the box office. And I was like, oh, so this is a sleeper hit that I just missed on. So I'm like, maybe I'll watch it and then it'll be like Star Wars for me, where, not Star Wars, but what's a movie that bombed
like, no.
people like?
No.
But anyway, I was just like, well, maybe it's something that I slept on and I can get to enjoy now. And no. It was not.
It was a film that it bombed in the box office because I don't think parents wanted to take their kids to see it, but it got a new resurgence and a new life when they started airing it on the Disney Channel.
Okay.
And like cassettes.
Yeah, VHS.
You know what's a better comparison? The original Batmans with Michael Keaton, and because I didn't like them when I watched them at first, but now I'm watching them now, they're hilarious.
I'm doing a campaign called it was called Defund Batman, but we didn't want to get sued.
Okay. Anyway, Tara, finish your thought.
Oh, I think that Hocus Pocus, like when I watched the first one, I remember how I felt when I was a kid. So I imagine if I watched it as an adult for the first time, I wouldn't be as taken with it. Like it invokes a certain feeling in me, like a certain nostalgia. So if you don't have the nostalgia, it's not necessarily top tier art where you're like, "Ooh, I see what this film is doing." It's very much of its time and very silly. And that book is still, I still want a copy of the grimoire with the eye on it and stuff just to have somewhere in my house. But that's probably like if I had to pick I think my comparison would be Nightmare Before Christmas. That one didn't do super well in the box office, and then it got this new life from VHSs and cult classic followings, and now one of my favorite things to do is to see Danny Elfman do Nightmare Before Christmas live, like every Halloween at the Hollywood Bowl. Like I haven't done it in the past few years because of COVID, but like next year.
You're there.
Yep. Because he was the voice of Jack Skellington. So he sings all the songs and it's really great. And it's his orchestra.
I really have to give it the up to the eyeball and the grimoire because I felt the acting there. And
he's giving more than Mark Lewis.
That eyeball was just giving a lot. So
yeah. I mean, who doesn't give more than Marcus? I would say like I do agree around nostalgia. Um, like Princess Bride just turned, I think, 30 or something like that. 30, maybe 35.
That was good.
I
35,
love
it came out the
Princess
year I was
Bride.
born.
It's like it is my comfort movie. Princess
Right.
Bride and When Harry Met Sally, like if I'm sick, that's what I'm watching.
I'm pretty sure Princess Bride came out the day I was born.
Amazing. How lucky.
I was born on a
Princess
Friday.
Bride and for you. Uh, love it. And I love Mandy Patinkin. You can't tell me anything about my white father. Don't tell me anything wrong about Mandy Patinkin. Okay?
That's your white father.
I don't want to know. Keep that shit to yourself. If you find out anything about Mandy Patinkin, if you want to break my heart, that's how you tell me. Otherwise, leave me in the dark.
Mandy Patinkin has broken hearts because he's that actor who gets bored very easily.
Yes.
And so like he's so good, but like he'll start a show and then be like, I am over this, or I don't like
Criminal Minds.
Criminal Minds, Dead Like Me on Showtime, like, and he will be the Criminal Minds was able because it's so procedural, they were able to like find someone to slot in. Dead Like Me was done. Once Rude left, there wasn't a show. He was the show.
Yeah.
But that's the worst I could ever think of as Mandy is that people are like, stay on the show for 10 years. And he's like, I won't.
He has like good politics. Mandy Patinkin follows my main account on Twitter. And the day he followed me, I was like, oh my God, I'm going to have to act right. And he was like, please don't. And I was like, say less, Mandy. You have no idea I love you.
See, now that is good. Because he follows you and loves you. Yeah, that's hero status right there.
I love Mandy Patinkin. You can't tell me anything wrong about him. I also love how we just started talking because we're so used to Tara being here. We didn't like announce that Tara was like here. Port Misery joining Sunday shift.
I know.
And we're also Hocus Pocus.
From Anna's house.
Yes.
Living room. Love it.
Yes.
Anna and Valentine get romantic.
I'm like down here keeping it safe from the haters, trying to make sure the FCC don't kick in the door.
Tanya, you've missed this, but we will talk about it. How about we get into this recap that is very, very piss poor? And I forgot to do Am I the Asshole? Partly because, I forgot to say, I went and saw Sandra's show last night. Amazing. Tanya, I'm gonna send you the info for it. Because it goes next week too.
Okay. Because
like amazing. So opening night was Thursday and I couldn't go like just because of like work. So I went last night. It was beautiful. So it's like in this like small Filipino theater in San Francisco. So it was like such a beautiful, like you know how you like walk into a space and just feel the culture? Like that's what it was. Just I was like, this is like a space that has not been touched by like colonization. You know what I mean? Like this is it. Like this is like people can come here and feel comfortable. I almost felt like I was like intruding a little bit. I was like, hi all, because I went by myself. And when they found out I was friends with Sandra, I was like treated like royalty. Like people loved Sandra for good reason. I mean, like obviously all the Sunday Shift listeners would be like, when's Sandra coming back? I'm like, I know, but Sandra's actually out here performing for the people, and it was beautiful.
Yes, I saw that tweet. I saw one of the tweets. They were like, is Sandra coming back? I was like, damn, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry.
No, I mean, to us too, they're like, Tonya, Tracey, cool, but what up with that Sandra? I'm like, damn. Wait. No, but I understand. Amazing, amazing performance. Like, and it's in this like small theater, and so you kind of like are sitting almost on stage with them because it's like like a U shape. So I'm like right in the front, and there's a part where Sandra, like, because when I told them I knew Sandra, they were like, oh, you sit here. And I didn't know what it was. Sandra's like basically sitting like right next to me while they're like doing this performance. I was like, holy shit, am I supposed to be sitting here? Amazing. Their director had came out and like was filming some of it because they were like, don't use any flash, but you can film. Like, okay. Uh, it was a lot of audience participation. It was like a bunch of like small shows, like within a big show. It was so fun. I didn't get home till like 11 last night. And if you know me, I had my hot girl days like 10 years ago. I'd be in the house. So look, Tara will tell you, like I'm like, so this was fun, great in the house. Um, but it was amazing. So I will let Sandra tell you about it when they come back. Tonya, I will send you the info because you should definitely go and support this theater. Bendo Stiff, it was amazing. Amazing, amazing, amazing.
I was I was gonna say I can think of a "Am I the asshole" off the fly.
Do it.
Oh,
Please.
please.
Right. Okay, so hi, I am a late 50 something male, and I have recently discovered a string of murders that have been connected to me, and discovered that a new hire of mine has randomly been connected to them as well. Am I the asshole for breaking the Geneva Convention for my family and for the town? Because torture is listed on the Geneva Convention. Chris and Dan.
Yeah, I was like, damn, we throw back to the meat hook, huh? Then they started throwing water at him. I was like,
He was like, I went to find like ancient Chinese torturers from the Wu family. The Woos are running a card game and like slightly beating Stable Baby's ass in the alley. Now they're torturing people in
shout out to Selena Wu. That's all I
my
gotta say.
hospital. If she's got these types of connects, then it's ridiculous that she's asking Sonny for favors or permission for
Have him
things.
just like, the same way you ask a kid to like throw some, go do something, to make them feel useful. Like, if you're in the kitchen cooking with like a child and you be like, oh baby, go throw this in the trash. That's like how I see Miss Wu like asking Sonny for anything. Like, anyway.
Frank needs to go get a new job. He needs to go work for the Woos. Go learn Cantonese, Frank.
Truth. All right. So we have our Am I the Asshole? I say yes.
Yeah.
Want to meet up.
Wait, he's been the asshole, so there you go.
Names of the asshole. All right, I have like very snippy. We start the week with Diane's life hanging in the balance, and Dex being caught literally red-handed by Alexis and Gregory. Dex is taken into the PCPD and questioned. Without a lawyer, Sonny gets him out of the precinct and attempts to torture a confession out of him. There you go. Joss left her double date with Cam, Trina, and Rory to go look out for her boo Dex, though she said it was for Diane. And not to be outdone, Michael also heard what's happening with his boo and went straight to Sonny to try to get him freed as well. Sorry, that's my Mex agenda. Cody and Britt have their date at the Metro Court interrupted, and Cody ends up at Maxie's single girl hoe apartment. Shout out to Tara for that. With Maxie, Felicia, Mac, and all her kids, which has to be some kind of fire violation. That was so many people in the house. Austin and Mason are up to something shady, and I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I don't know what it is. So I'm hoping that y'all can help me out because I was like, what is this?
I don't care. That's the main issue.
I don't care, but I also definitely don't understand. Portia confronted Jordan and Curtis about Curtis, but more importantly, about what she knows about Trina's paternity. What a showdown.
Me and Tracey on opposite sides of this.
Portia did what she did. Jordan tells her she needs to be truthful with Curtis. Sasha's credit card was declined because of the conservatorship to pay for Brando's funeral. And she and Gladys continue to be supported by Nina and Sonny. Nicholas makes a confession over a letter, and then Ava said, nah, boo, that's not enough. And he also makes it over video to being responsible for Esme's disappearance. Despite all of that, Ava goes home with Nina and not with him. Victor visits Spencer in Pentonville and sees that he is having a hard time. Spencer is then attacked by an inmate. Hashtag free my child. And on to the very best part of the week. Vanna, get it on. Valentine and Anna get romantic. After conversations and confessions of our favorite spies, they give us more steam than ABC daytime TV has seen in years, maybe ever. They have set the standard. They are amazing. And now I'm not recapping, I'm just talking. What do y'all think about the week? Tara, what did you think about the week?
I mean, the week was a week, Vanna. Like, I think Vanna was on a collective 12 minutes this week, and it was the best 12 minutes that we've seen in probably years. Like, legit years. So that's where I'm at, Vanna.
Very steamy. And I very rarely adjust the timeline. I try not to, but I'm gonna adjust the timeline. People apparently were very prudish about the scenes. Someone threatened to call the FCC. like, um, listen, I am a child of Little Kim. And I say that because sorry, his face. I say that because, when I was in middle school, hardcore came out. I had to hide it from my parents, obviously, because Little Kim was squatting with her legs open on the cover. And it was the first CD I listened to in secret on my Walkman. And she taught me. And one thing Little Kim said is, if you ain't licking this, then you ain't sticking this. And I feel like Anna Devane also was listening to Lil' Kim. And I love that for her. And I love that for us. Get a life. Grow up. My girl is flourishing. She is thriving. She is getting what she deserves. Imagine being Finola Hughes, 37 years in, and putting the most steam on anybody's TV that we've seen in ABC daytime history since Anna and David, to be honest. Mm-hmm. Because, see, that's where I met Anna Devane. I met her with David Hayward. And if you want to talk about steamy love scenes, let's talk about Anna and David as well. So Finola Hughes has been doing what needs to be done for ABC daytime since I've been in college and before that. I'm talking about when I met Anna Devane. And even before that, she was doing what needed to be done.
Her and Duke.
I mean, things happened this week. Nothing happened that was as important as Vanna to me. They are the standard, and that's really all I gotta say. And as a child of Lil' Kim, I loved it.
I've kind of taken a step back from the timeline. Like I tweet when I want and like here and there, but it's definitely not like the all day active tweeting I used to do. Just because I'm not really clear what people want anymore. Because like I feel like we used to have like, okay, like we're not getting romance, we're not getting these things, and then we start to get them. We start to actually have movement, and now people are complaining, well, it's not the right movement, or it's not I want it for other people, like, which is valid, but it shouldn't be. This is not a zero sum game on soaps where like, oh, because Vanna has things that means that other couples aren't getting them. Like, no, just advocate for these things constantly and not complain that like, oh, it's happening to the wrong people or it's too fucking steamy. Like, you either want romance, love in the afternoon, or you don't. And if you don't, that's perfectly fine. But this is not the show for you then. Like, there's plenty of shows that are geared towards more wholesome, chase type of like entertainment. And soaps have never really been about that. We've all just been assuming they've been leaning super hard into COVID protocols because Disney has been so like the front line leading that in Hollywood of like social distancing and like trying to make it work where you can still film, but like we're keeping everybody safe. And as we move away from that, or as like the actors themselves put themselves in little bubbles to be more comfortable, we're gonna move back to more steamier scenes for people. And so you can't just constantly be like, I want to call the FCC every time you don't see the, who you want to see have a love scene, or because you want a cut to black love scene for, because that's my thing. I was like, what? We've seen nothing but disgusting dead baby sex from Milo. Like, and this is not to say the actors are perfectly fine, they're beautiful, they're actors, but like the thing that sets up a Milo sex scene is literally like Willow being like, my baby's dead, and Michael's like, ooh, that makes me hot. Like, and like none of the FCC was not invoked for any of that. And so what's going on here, people? Like, what is it that we want? And so yeah, for me, like if that's what your brand is on Twitter, complaining, like it's honestly why I either do not follow you or like why I haven't been on Twitter that much, because I just want to enjoy this show when I can. Like 12 minutes of the show made the whole week for me. I could literally sit here and bitch about the other 3 hours I had to sit through. And we will. But the 12 minutes, let's like live in those minutes and celebrate them and highlight them and not get the US government involved.
Really? That's childish. Immature.
Yeah. Tell us, what did you enjoy about the week and who are your performers of the week?
The week was all right. I would say it wasn't necessarily giving either. But it was. I my favorite performances are to the duo that did some excellent acting, even though I did not like why they were doing it at all. So give it up to our fave, Brooke Kerr and Tanisha Harper.
Yes.
For doing an amazing job at doing something I hated. I did not like to see these two beautiful, smart, strong, capable women fighting over this sorry, hypocritical ass man named Curtis. I did not like that at all. And it was hard for me. I agree with some things, and I strongly disagree with others. And so in the end, it was a little bit of a neutral for me. But I think on the acting, I would give just really strong points for Brooke and Tanisha for holding her own against that, because Portia came in strong. She just barged into this office talking about, what are you doing? To the chief of police. Girl. But anyway, but she held her own, and being as wrong as she was, stay out of my business. I mean, just all up in her face. And I was like, all right, man. She is defending her daughter tooth and nail. Is wrong as she is, but she's protecting her daughter. So I love that. I also another good performance for me was, besides Vanna, again, Tabiana going at Curtis. I feel like she's out on site with him again, because she was like, you had no rights. It's none of your business, and you ain't my daddy, and I know how to take care of myself. Love that for her. Back to being on site with Curtis. Trina, stay there because he deserves it. It was none of his damn business. He ain't the daddy. They're trying to make him be the daddy, and no, it didn't even work how he's trying to be the daddy. So no. That's it.
So as Tara alluded, we are on opposite sides. I mean, so first of all, I'm always on beautiful Ash Jordan's side. Like, yes. But Portia standing on that lie, I had nothing to do but applaud for that. I said, she came in and she was like, why you coming after my man? Jordan was like, girl, this is about you lying. No, right. This is about you coming after my man.
I know.
Like, it was crazy. It was unhinged behavior, and I loved every minute of it. Like, you can just tell when somebody is like desperate and at their wits' end. She's like, she loves Taggart. Okay. Like, it was just a mess through and through. And I am so glad they gave it to Brooke to do, because she delivered. I loved every minute of it. Just like you said, Tanya, I hate what it was about, but having the two of them, Tanisha just like came into her own. I
Mhm.
loved the scene.
I love Tini. I want to give like so. I am now my Port Misery account is a Jordan Ashford apologist account. We did what we did, and we know. But like Jordan Tanisha just constantly being like, she said it at least 3 times. Like I don't hear a no.
Right.
Here I'm wrong in this at any point. And
Mhm.
Portia, she's trying to make this about Curtis, and she's like, no, this is not about Curtis. This is about Trina. Leave me
Well,
alone.
first it was about, she's on about Trina. First she's protecting Trina, and then I don't know, she was just all over the place.
She's like, are you worried that Trina has schizophrenia? She was like, stop trying to steal my man. God damn. It was really crazy.
That's what made it so good though. Cause she was like poor like Jordan was so calm.
Right. The whole
Girl,
time.
why are you at my job? Like, what are you doing here?
She was like, why are you doing this? She was like, what do you think you know? Like, you already know what I think I know. That's why you're here.
That
You're the
that
one
like
who told me.
calmness that I from Tanisha as Jordan, she's like, yes. Like it was so matter of fact. It was like not beating around the bush. Girl, you know what I know. You know what you said in that basement when I was getting gassed up. Okay. You know what happened.
Yeah.
I'm
So good.
officially Jordan's side just because this is verbatim her former storyline. She's literally done this
Yeah.
like with Sean. And so she knows of what she speaks. She's like a freaking sage come down from the heavens to help Portia. And Portia is just like, stay away from my man. Like, it's really crazy. My dream is for them to just throw Curtis into the harbor and get together and start their B&B where Portia is the town doctor and Jordan solves mysteries on the weekends. Like, that's my dream for them. Port Charles Mysteries.
Yeah.
Felicia and Anna and Sam can have walk-on appearances. It'd be great. Carly ends up buying it, and then it becomes a big hit, and then she gets the Metroport back, and then she sets it on fire. Her and Nina's scent from it.
Well, it sounds like we have a great GH fiction here. What's his name? What's that producer's name?
Frank.
Frank. Text us. Text Tara. She got a great storyline for you.
Exactly. I could have saved several.
Several, yeah.
Several. But I just cannot praise the performances of Tanisha and Brooke enough.
Mhm.
Jordan and Portia just really gave me like, aside from Vanna, they were my highlight of the week. I loved it. Like I loved every bit of it. When Portia like slammed her hands on the desk, I was like, "Girl, what are you doing?" But I said, "You know what? I am a Portia apologist. She did what she did. Okay, I don't know why she did what she did. I don't need to know. She did what she did."
Another shout out to Tanisha. Jordan Ashford, I didn't realize how much Vanessa Antoine had put herself into that role until she left. Because like it was very rough for Brianna Henry. Like people just really didn't accept her as Jordan until probably about 10 minutes before she left. And then they were like, what? Jordan's leaving? That's crazy. After wishing her gone for years.
Right.
And so like Tanisha, she had a little bit of growing pain, I think, when she first came on, mainly because they don't know how to write Jordan without Vanessa in the role.
Right.
Like they don't give her a fully fleshed out personality. So that has to come from the actor. And like it can be really hard when you're stepping into a role that's already existed for around about 10 years now. And now like no one can tell you who this woman is. They can't even tell you her maiden name. And so like the fact that it's Ashford. She's Jordan Ashford. Like
Ashford.
yeah. And so because she's got Tommy's Ashford and she got Curtis's Ashford and then like missing maiden name. Because like Carly, I can tell you her full name: Caroline Benson Quartermain Parenthos Alvazar Jax. Like I can tell you all the names, but like I don't know Jordan's maiden name. So the fact that she what came on like 4 months ago, 5, and we're already here like taking sides, and like that we're not all on Portia's side,
Right.
by virtue of Brooke Kerr. Congratulations, Tanisha. Like I fucking hated Jordan her entire run, and now I'm like, leave Jordan alone. I'm talking about like every time Portia and Curtis start, because it's not really Portia, it's mostly Curtis. And then Portia never knows what to say because he's always like, Jordan's such a lying ass bitch. So glad you're not. And Portia's like, yeah. She's I'm like, girl. And so yeah, I'm just out here like, leave Jordan alone. I'm about to make the video and everything. And sucks to suck freaking Donnell, just because like the second they give you a lead actor storyline, they just turned you into one of the asshole men of Port Charles. Like,
oof, it's bad.
Hannah Punk. And they still don't know what Jordan did to help save Trina. And so for them to be, that's what makes me even more mad, right? Her little elevator scene. Yeah, I forgot.
No, I was trying to think if they knew that happened, and you're right.
They don't know. And I'm like mad because I'm like, after everything she did to help y'all, now y'all turning on her, and it's not her fault. And I'm still hella mad at Stella for not admit. I mean, it's been a long. She could have admitted it by now, causing all this trauma.
Well,
they be treating Stella like a fragile doll.
No,
she can't do anything. She's gonna stroke out. Like,
right. But at the same time, she's hecka strong in the truth and all of this stuff. And you need to be honest, and you need to tell them, and you need to do the, ma'am, you need to do the same thing.
As an aside, I love how much William Lipton loves Vernie. Like, it was like her birthday, and like he was just like, happy belated, ma'am. It was so sweet. I was like, oh, they had like one scene, and William was like, I love Vernie. And same, to be honest. Very cute.
At this point, I need this to go down. I need Curtis to find out Trina is his daughter, because we find out Trina is Stella's granddaughter and Curtis is fucking Stella's son. Ooh. That's the only way this story will be saved, because it'll be so damn messy. Like,
it'll be hella messy,
because she has a super close connection in Port Charles, and like even if Curtis is Trina's father, her connection to Trina wouldn't be close enough for like Ancestry.com to be like, this just is hella close. And so yes, I need it to be like, oh, it's your granddaughter, and then like Curtis be like, why would it be your granddaughter? And then like once again, like, why would it be your granddaughter? And then you realize that Curtis is actually that Stella slept with Hat Daddy.
Yeah, because I kind of feel like they had like a bigger secret than the fact that he was schizophrenic between them. Because why would she protect that so much? So
I love this. And I hate how they keep doing Black women. I hate they keep doing Black women with these paternity secrets. But every time I hear a new one, I'm like, yeah, do that one. Every time I'm like, I can't, like, just my righteous issue, I cannot believe they're doing Black women that way. Oh, that?
Oh yeah, do that.
like Maya Ward would have, not Maya, but Keisha Ward would have AJ's baby. Yeah, bring it back. Mm-hmm.
And then Epiphany's just there, like, just trying to be a doctor.
Just trying to take them in cats, as Hat Daddy said. Mm-hmm. I love him so much. I can't believe I went from disliking him to liking him so much. What's cracking, baby? Okay. What's working for you this week?
I mean, besides everything we've been talking about? Like, that's the thing. It's like, I guess okay, I'll give it to Trina hating Curtis is working again. Like the return of Black Hospital is working. I love when we give the black characters things to do. So like we talked about a lot, so I'm not gonna harp on it, but like Portia and Jordan having their whole like the banner of my Twitter account is like for Jordan, more concerned with Curtis's business than the hooker. Because she is like the storyline. Like they're in it, but they're not in it. Like Trina has to like not work at the gallery because like the hooker's after Ava, even though maybe they're not. But then she's throwing away internships at better museums because Curtis got them for her. I love that. She's been hanging around Jocelyn too much. She's got nothing but righteous indignation giving up these fucking internships. I can't accept it. Like, no. I was like, no, Trina, you have to accept it. Like, accept it, but be serious. But
Right.
I mean, I think Trina being back in her own storyline, I'm very excited for whenever they do Sprina. But like, I do want Trina to be her own character outside of Sprina. Like, it's very important to me. And so I love that we see more of her art career flourishing, more with her with Ava. We get more of like her home dynamics with Curtis and Portia because like during the trial, you would think they were one happy family. And now she's willing to burn all of Curtis's shit on the fucking lawn as soon as Portia gives her the word. And so Trina Robinson is working for me. Black Hospital working for me.
I'm also gonna say Trina is working for me. Just always. I mean, I love her connection with Joss. And I love the way she's able to subtly read Joss as a friend. She's like, oh yeah, she's competitive. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I really enjoy the Joss and Trina friendship. Um, I also loved her having smoke for Kim. I loved that. I actually in something. Look, now I'm gonna complain. I don't think that her keeping the like dumpster diving secret is the same as Cam keeping the Spencer secret. Like the Spencer, and they're like trying to conflate those, and I don't like that. That was about Trina's like life and freedom, and this is about like you know, Joss having some chemistry with somebody else. And like keeping a little secret from Cam. I would like to see Trina tell Joss, like, girl, Cam is my friend and I'm not doing this. Because up until this far, like, we haven't really seen them in a friendship position. Like the chemistry between um Trina and Cam now is very much like she looking at him like, oh, that's my friend's boyfriend, and not like that's my friend. So I would like for her to like reestablish that. But all in all, Trina as a character continues to work for me. I continue to love how much story is built around her. And I agree, Tara. Like I really enjoy her like having some story outside of Sprina. Now, she was lying this week. She was like, I've never been happier. Like, girl, get out of here. Like, you are not happy with this boring ass snitch. Stop it. But you know what? Again, get you somebody who likes you more than you like them. And you know.
He ditches her too much, and that bugs me. Like I understand he has like a fake important job as a cop, but like, are do you not have a day off? Like, it's because Jordan only has 6 police officers, so like anytime.
Defunded the PCPD, and so because of that, it's affected Trina's dating life.
But he should not just be able to leave her like he's Sonny Corinthos. Like, sorry, girl, I gotta go. Like, she should be ditching him. Like, with the energy they give Jocelyn, where she's just out here like lying to Cam to go check on side boo. That's what Trina should be able to do. Like, oh, I have to go see Ava. Bye. Like, oh, I have to go. Because like I'm very torn. Like, I know that like people want her to go visit Spencer, and I'm like, I don't want her to be in prison. Like, I don't want her anywhere near the prison. And then like my faves back in the day, Carson, like Sonny straight dumped Carly so she wouldn't have to go see him in prison. Like, it's also a very romantic thing to like not want your fucking girl to have to visit you in prison and like put money on your books. Like, that's not cute, look.
Well, they're not even giving my child the things he needs in prison. I don't like that. But
the clown outfit.
I don't want to talk about what we don't like right now because I have a list, but I don't like that. Give my kid his clothes, his jail clothes in the right size. Thank you. Tonya, what about you? For you.
I agree with both of you. Loving Trina, loving Black Hospital. I do want to say I liked seeing Sam and Spinelli in conversation this week. Finally, Spinelli says the obvious, but you know, whatever, we all knew. But love seeing Sam, and this goes into a little bit of what doesn't work is the fact that Sam was on an investigation. I don't know what she was investigating, but she was, and now she's not investigating anymore. I'm like, give her story, give her her own story. I'm just like, ugh. Sam deserves a story on her own, but you know, like seeing her on screen, appreciate that, but give her her story. So I'm just gonna go ahead and transition to what didn't work.
The synergy between us, because I have something about that too. Go ahead, but keep going. What else?
GH, what did I say about what I did not want to see? Hello, why are we seeing Spencer in prison getting beat down by whoever? I don't want to see that. I don't want to see him, you know, in overly large, you know, janky clothes and misshaven and his hair a hot mess. No, Spencer, I did not want to see that. You could have skipped over that. We could have gotten some forlorn letters from him or something, but we don't need to see it. I don't want to see anyone hitting him unnecessarily. I don't want to see him worried based on the previews that he owes somebody something. No, skip it, bring him back, find him some, you know, weird loophole that gets him back home. I don't know, but he does not, I don't want to see him in jail. I don't want to see it. The third thing, I had another thing. Third thing I did not like, the GH torture was so corny as hell. The guy being named Carver, hello, who's such an amateur, okay? Any competent torturer would have tied the hands and the feet, but apparently he doesn't watch Marvel Black Widow when she was escaping the kidnapping in Avengers or Bond movies, because, I mean, he basically didn't give any kind of instruction on how to torture somebody, because how are you just gonna let him find a way to escape? It's stupid. And then he's walking away and be like, yeah, I can use a break. You didn't do anything but talk to him. So what do you need a break for? It was super corny. I didn't like it. It needs to stop. And Sonny, he ain't all that. No. Did not like it. Do it over. No, don't even do it over. Just stop. Stop.
I love that you're like, I didn't like that the torture wasn't done right.
Not done right.
That, Tonya. Thank you.
So stupid.
Thank you. So I got, so we're celebrating Kelly Monaco's 19 years at GH. And Sam McCall has always been a character that works for me. That's my girl. We hosted Spaces yesterday. It was Sunday Shift, Port Misery, and PC Rewind to celebrate Sam. I'll keep it as our pin tweet for a little bit, and I'll eventually put it up on audio. It was great. It was an amazing celebration of Kelly Monaco, of Sam. And what doesn't work for me is her not having a story of her own. As you said, I love Sante. I love seeing her get this like happy relationship and family that she's always wanted for herself. But that does not mean she needs to be boring and sit around and listen to white men talk to her about their problems. I love a Sam and Spinelli scene. I want a Sam and Spinelli scene to lead somewhere. And I want it to lead somewhere that is Sam centered, not Spinelli centered. Um, I really appreciate it. I know I'm the only, probably one of the only people. I've always liked the Michael Sam relationship. I'm glad we had a hug between them and some conversation. They have a very rich history that I would love for them to revisit. Um, but I don't care. Like, that shouldn't be the only time I see Sam. I want Sam to go visit Spencer in prison. Sam's been to Pentonville. She knows what that shit is like, and Spencer's her cousin. Like, and I know that, you know, a lot of things for me, and it's fine because he's one of my favorite characters, feel like very Spencer centric. But this is someone who is like connected all over the show. And so to pretend like he doesn't have these connections feels wrong. So like
Mhm.
I think I kind of see where they're trying to go, like this dark prince route with him. Like nobody cares about me. I'm in here by myself. But that's not like I would have preferred to see something that was more like people couldn't visit him. Right? Like there was some reason he's in protective custody, and because he's in protective custody, people can't see him. But to pretend like people don't care about him is actually just not accurate. And it's plot driven and not in any way character driven, especially when it comes to like Sam and Cam. And I don't like that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't want Sam to have to be like a person that props Cody or fucking
Right.
like is playing second fiddle in a Spinelli storyline. Like that doesn't make sense to me. And I don't like that. And Kelly Monaco deserves better than that. She's been there for 19 years. She has carried and she has shown that she can carry big story. Like this is not an example of somebody who like is just there taking up space. This is somebody who has shown time and time again that if you give her material, she's gonna fucking deliver it. Why is she not getting it to deliver? I loved her sending Drew to Carly and to be like, "Go ahead, boy. I don't really want you go, go to my friend." But that shouldn't be the only time that we see Sam. Let's give Sam something to do that's Sam centric and not centered around other people. So that's my big one. Finn continues to not work for me. Like the fact that he was in like I don't know, like ugh, whatever with Nicholas, and he came out and I was on Nicholas's side. You got me siding with Marcellus? My God. All these people being like, Finn's not portraying Liz's confidence. Finn ain't never found no piece of Liz's business that he wouldn't tell to whoever. Gregory coming up to Liz like, well, Finn told me he didn't betray your confidence. Finn telling you any of my business is betraying my confidence. I'm on my Portia. Quit telling my business. Get out my business. That's what Liz need. Liz need a little Portia in her
Mm-hmm.
and tell people to quit telling her business. And I'll
Okay.
move for everything else. Go ahead, Tara. What's not working for you?
Um, I mean, he hasn't been working since he fell off a bridge, but it's Sonny. Because honestly, what the hell, like that whole torture scene, what the hell was Nixon Falls about? And what the hell are the Sona stands talking about how Nina changed him and saved him? He wasn't breaking the Geneva Convention when he was with any other woman. And then, like, what would Ghost Winnie say? Honestly, like, and then he like literally goes back to the Metro Court, just like, yeah, okay, I didn't just almost torture a man to death and who's innocent.
Right.
Let me go see
He's
Nina,
still fact checking. He's still fact checking.
and then dismisses Nina like she's not allowed to sit at the big girl table when the mobsters are there. I don't understand. Like I said, if y'all could have put Nina and Sonny together without making us sit through that 6 months of fucking garbage, to be honest, you could have done the exact same thing. You could have had, Nell run her dumbass off a cliff, Nina feel some type of way, Sonny feel bad about that or some shit, cheat on his wife, and go be with her. And I didn't have to sit through any of Nixon Falls. I didn't have to know about Nixon Falls. Phyllis and Lenny could be happy off screen and we would be none the wiser. But we had to do all of that. We had to, Sonny had to be fished out of a lake 3 months after he fell off a bridge. And then like Phyllis found out he was schizophrenic. Then Nina came back. She's out here talking to a baby about how she keeping his grandfather from him. You know, a fire got started. Sonny had to fight a ghost. And now we're right back where we are, mob hospital, mobbing twice as hard. But Sonny's a better person. He's living a better life. Make it make sense. Like,
Put it up.
like make it make sense. Like, if you're gonna sit here and tell me like how terrible Carson was and destructive and toxic and all this shit Carson was, then maybe don't have Sonny torture people for 3 days when he's not with Carly. Because Carly's in Jacksonville trying to save a working class cemetery. That's what she's doing. Okay. She's not torturing people. She's not dancing her way out of hospital rooms while people's marriage fall apart. Okay. She's not doing that. So, like, I don't want to hear about how toxic Carly is when Young's faves are out. Are these your fucking kings and queens? But that's what's not working for me.
Oh, and don't forget how hypocritical he is saying that Ava and Nicholas are toxic and we aren't. Yeah.
That was
crazy.
Just got back from torturing a person, but they not toxic.
Right. And we're a great couple.
Whew.
We're a good couple. Not if you have to keep telling us every 5 seconds you're a good couple.
Their relationship started because she kept him from his family for 6 months and didn't tell him his identity. But yeah, they're super
not
pure and untoxic.
Mm-hmm.
I could talk about how much I hate Sonny, Nina, and Sona forever. So I'm trying to like arrange my thoughts so that we don't go, for another 5 hours. But I will say that the other thing is that I just feel like the Obrit women just like don't pay for anything. Like the fact that Liesl has done all that shit to Anna and her family, like I have not forgotten. I don't even care about Robin, and I know what she's done to Robin, and that shit is unforgivable to me. The fact that she never killed Peter, you did all that shit to Robin, but you never killed Peter, unforgivable to me. The fact that she had Dante out here like under mind control, unforgivable. And like nobody's even talking about it. Like Dante doesn't even know. So here you got Sonny together with Nina, like Obrit's all like, oh, I'm rooting for them and fuck Carly in the hotel and get everything. Like you got all of that and Sonny doesn't know. Like Nina's family has done unforgivable things to Sonny's family. Like let's not even talk about what has happened between Nina and Sonny. Nina's family has done unforgivable things to Sonny's family. And so like the fact that the writers just like don't discuss that history. I'm not even saying that people can't be together, whatever. People can do whatever they want to. But the fact that like that is like why I can't get behind Sona, because I'm tired of like people pretending like things didn't happen in order to make things fit. That makes me reject like couples and characters. And so like a character like Nina, who has always been like a businesswoman, I mean, aside from, stealing that baby, aka Sonny's baby, like has always been a businesswoman. Like like once she came into her own, her whole redemption was like she had Crimson, and like they thought she was gonna fail, and then she became like somebody who was really smart and didn't fail and really worked her way up. And now all of a sudden she's like a ditz who just follows behind Sonny, like, and has to tell people she doesn't know how to run a hotel all the time. No, Nina should be like standing up, like people like, how is the hotel business? It's great. What you telling people that you're struggling for? You telling Anna? Listen, you would have to drag me out of somewhere before I told Anna Devane I was failing or having a hard time with anything. Anna? Girl, I'm fronting like you would never believe. It's very easy, Anna.
Especially when she's sitting there with your ex-husband, who was in love with her through your whole fucking marriage.
That whole scene was crazy to me because, I was just like, this is the woman that took your man. You're all like chummy, like, oh, I didn't know you guys were declaring. Congratulations. I'm so happy for you.
And to be honest, He was never your man. He was always hers.
And it's, yeah.
Listen, he was on loan to you from Anna because that man always wanted to be with Anna.
Right.
Always. I'll never
Crying
forget one of my favorite scenes. It was still when it was Michelle's Nina, and I've posted it many times. It was her and her brother, and she was like, "Are you having an affair with Anna?" Valentine was like, "No." She's like, "Do you want to?" He was like, couldn't even say no because he was like, "I'm a super spy. I lie my ass off all the time, but I can't lie to you about Anna Devane. Hell yeah, I want to be with her." So, girl, there's no way I'm gonna like. It's just I just reject them as characters, and it is nothing. Like to each his own. People like them. I don't blame people for liking what they like, but me personally, Nina could be drinking water, and I'd be like, "Look at that bitch over there drinking her water." I'm never gonna like her.
Mm.
And part of it is because like they've tried to force a character upon me. I don't like that. In the same way they tried to force a relationship between Liz and Finn on me. Like it's not that people like I can't speak to other people, but I think that like there's feedback that people just don't understand, and to the point of like the Sonny stuff. I think that post Nixon falls and like people not liking Sona and like that being a really big thing on like social media outside of Twitter, the network was like trying to figure out like what to do. Cause it was really toxic. I think it's a little bit less, but like they couldn't post anything with Sonny and Nina without people just like trashing it the whole time. And so they were trying to figure out what else to do. And I remember most like tweeting like Sonny's back. And it was like when he put somebody in a trunk. And I'm like, that's a misunderstanding of what people wanted from Sonny. People wanted like the person who they like excused all of that bullshit behavior from because he cared about his family. Like that, like Jason and like Sonny's family had always been his grounding force. People didn't want the Sonny back who put people in trunks because that wasn't Sonny. That was always somebody Sonny paid to do that for. And so like they just have a misunderstanding of what people wanted back. I learned that like I was telling Tara this from the crew event when um Laura Wright was like, "Oh well, people didn't like Charlie because y'all knew that Sonny was alive." Baby girl, that's not why people didn't like Charlie. It's not. It's just not. Like,
I mean, to your point, just about how they have to change like characters, like backstories and their relationships to people. So like they were like, all right, well, Carly's kids are gonna go super hard for Carly. And then like we'll have Sunny's kids go hard for Sunny, which I will actually give them Christina fine. Well, Christina's a bum, so like who knows what she'll do and she's chosen to be on Sunny's side. Dante, on the other hand, he is a problem because he has a problem with all three of those hoes. Like Nina stole his sister from Ava's vagina. Britt stole his fucking son. Unforgivable. And then Liesel had him controlled by a pen. And now they've written because they need one of his sons because they killed the Carson baby, unfortunately. But they need one of his sons to be on his side. So they choose the most inappropriate one. Like Dante should have nothing but smoke. He should want a pox on the Westbourne house.
yep.
Like every single one of them hoes should get smoke from Dante. But he's got to be like, I guess if you want it, Dad, you only shot me in the chest, so yeah, sure. Like anything you fucking want, like to make it make sense. Like it's too much. Like I will not allow. And we talked about this with the Sam space. Like they did so much during like 2007 to around 2009 to try and make us hate Sam, and I was like, I will not hate Sam. Sorry. And like they've spent all of 2021 and now 2022 trying to get me to like Nina and Sona, and I won't. I will not. And you know what? Twitter is its own little self-replicating bubble, but like there's plenty of people on Instagram who won't, and there's plenty of people on Facebook who won't. Like, and I'm
And not
not
on social
saying,
media at all.
yeah, and I'm not saying those like the personal attacks on actors are right and stuff like that. What I'm saying is that if you insist on forcing something on down people's throats, that's the reaction. And you can't control all the tweets and all the mentions and all the comments because like you've chosen to do this. And it's not saying break these people up or do this or whatever. It's that like you have to stop centering them. You have several stories going on. You have several characters that people are shouting from the rooftops. Feature more of Elizabeth, feature more of Sam, center Vanna, center the young adults, center the hospital. And they're like, no, we're gonna kill Sasha's entire fucking family and everyone who loves her. So all she has is Sonny and Nina. And then we're gonna have her be this like black hole of chaos and misery and sadness. So Sona can look really, really good supporting her. And then they force that down our throat. Nobody wants any of it.
And now they're trying to put Nina in the mix of the Vanna storyline. And I was
Ugh.
like, hell no. Valentine, no. Don't bring Nina into this mess. No.
And it's them trying to force Nina to be likable. And the thing about it is, just let her be. People are, there are going to be people who like her and there are going to be people who don't like her. And one of the worst things I think that's happening in not just soaps, but in TV is that they don't want people to be the bad guy. Like Carly can be the bad guy. Nina can be the bad guy. Like people will choose their sides and fall where they are, but everybody doesn't have to be complicated and everybody doesn't have to be like centered so you like them. You can have people do unlikable things, run that story, and then bring them back. But they don't know how to write redemption arcs and they don't know how to write women. And that's part of the reason it's so messed up. And like to go back to what I was saying about Liz and Finn, people are gonna complain about everything, right? Like there are complaints, and so I complain about everything. So like if there's a ship I don't like or whatever, that's a different complaint than this is triggering me. And I'm a very big believer that like you have to manage your own triggers, right? So like I stopped watching. I know that I was like triggered after they had Franco rape Sam. I was like, I'm done here. Actually, I got to take a break. And so I stopped watching. But it was never written as if like at the time I wasn't seeing what I saw. Nobody was like trying to explain Franco's behavior to me or tell me that Franco wasn't wrong for that. What we have with Elizabeth and Finn, and like you can see people on Twitter, I think, have like red flags in their like bios and stuff talking about him, is because he is displaying like extremely abusive and manipulative behavior, but it's not being called that, it's being called love. And we are getting everyone else reinforcing. So instead of changing the behavior, because GH is a show that has the ability to do it more than most other soaps, because they only shoot like a month or like 6 weeks in advance. Up like G8 or not GH, but I think Days is like 6 months. Like there's like a lot of like there's not a lot of wiggle room for other soaps. For GH, there's that wiggle room. So instead of like bringing in Terry or bringing in other people to like say it's love or to like prop Finn, just fucking change the behavior. Because it's one thing to be like they don't have chemistry, I don't like them, and it's quite another to like see what is actually being said about them, which is that like women who have been abused are saying that this looks like the abuse that I faced. This is what my abuser treated me like. That's different, and that shouldn't be like something that we're seeing on TV unchecked. And GH has had more than enough time, more than enough time to change that. And I think that that's like a little bit of the difference and why, like people are never gonna, there are people who are never gonna accept Finn and Liz because it's awful.
Every couple that is an official couple, right? So, because I don't want people like my faves aren't. Every couple that's in an official relationship on GH is in a toxic relationship, except for Vanna. 100%. Like you have Sonny is abusing Nina and her trust and her love. I don't like Nina, but like if I have to pick the bad person in their relationship, it's actually Sonny. Now that Sonny knows who he is and he has his memories back, he's just essentially told her that he will do what he wants and he will control that relationship. And if she would like to be in it and stay in it, then that's what she has to accept. And so far, she's accepted it. I look forward to the point where she doesn't. Chaylin and Chase, or Brooklyn and Chase, like, Brooklyn girl, what are you doing? Girl, what are you doing? Like, do you want to be with this man or do you want him to make you money? Because I'm not sure at this point. Like, are you using your womanly ways to get a client? Because that seems to be the story that's playing out in front of me. And like, you slightly feel bad about it. So you don't want to like actually fuck him because then that means something. Like, it's abusive. You have Finn, enough said there. Um, Portia and Curtis are the poster child for toxic relationship. They're both lying to each other. You have Portia out here making genetic counseling appointments, lying to her daughter and Curtis. Just, like, get the DNA test before. Like, does she 1,000% know that Curtis is Trina's father? Because she skipped DNA test and gone straight to genetic counseling. And so, like, the DNA test would be a lot easier. You have access to Trina and Curtis's DNA, but no, let me get this genetic counseling. He's in the mob. He's in the mob. Like, essentially, is like second in command to Selena Wu at this point. Like, every official couple on this show is toxic, and it's very every once in a while, except for Sante. I give Sante. They had their little moment where Sam was like breaking into Dante's phone, and I'm a Sam stan, so I would have accepted it, but it still wouldn't have been great behavior just to like be taking advantage of your partner's trust and breaking into his shit. Like, they have no idea how to write any type of like relationship besides, because I'm now convinced that Finola Hughes is writing her own lines, as is JPS. Like, they don't know how to do it. Like, it's just relationships on General Hospital are so bad. And I think like we see that play out with the worst effects with Sprina, because now within the fandom, there's this like kind of fight between like, oh, is this like traditional soapiness of what's happening, or should Trina be doing this, or should Spencer be doing this? Is this stuff? And it's like, no, you guys could just write better. Just write better. As opposed to like trying to write trash and then lean into the old excuse of, well, it's a soap, so don't take it so serious.
Yeah. I was like trying to pause in case Tanya had something because I feel like I was talking too much.
No, I'm fine. If you guys are all right.
Okay. Well, we are gonna deep dive this week. Oh wait, did anybody have anything else that wasn't working? I mean, I feel like we read GH about all the things that were not working.
Their prop department's not working because I can't with that Ferrero Rocher that Nicholas left on Ava's chest. It was a straight. Remember when he left the candy? Yes. He was like, "Oh, the little that is from the 3-pack Ferrero Rocher at the 99-cent store at the Dollar Tree. You are a prince." Like, we went to the Vacaville outlet malls and I found a real chocolate truffle for Tracy's birthday because she's worth it. Like, I'm not out here, and I didn't cheat on Tracy and force her to throw some bitch off a parapet. So, like, do better, prop department. This is LA. I know you can find a damn truffle outside of CVS.
Yeah. There you go. Well, I'm going to move us into our deep dive. So, even though you sometimes forget it, there is a serial killer in Port Charles. Like, unless you're in like a scene directly related to the serial killer, like, you forget. So I want to start by saying it was really weird when I started like researching this, and like I watched it and then I was like looking it up. I started getting all of these ads for Dahmer, like all of these ads that are now directed towards me. And I just want to say, like, yo, I'm from Milwaukee, and I remember that Dahmer shit happening in real time and watching it on TV with my parents. That was a real man who ruined real lives, and he shouldn't be like connected with some bullshit ass killer from a soap opera. Yikes! I
The cookies.
ugh,
Fortunately,
yeah, I hated it. So yeah, September 2007, we had our first death from the text message killer. R.I.P. Letitia, who was the nanny for Morgan and Michael. Um, that storyline ran from September 7th, 2007, with Letitia's death, to March 5th, 2008. So approximately 6 months of a serial killer. Yikes. Because I think about the current storyline now, and I'm like, damn, I don't see this going for 6 months. Ooh. Um, he had 4 deaths. So it was Letitia, Emily Quartermain, Georgie Jones, and Cooper Barrett. I will say the interesting thing about it is Cooper was killed January 25th. So Cooper was a boyfriend of Maxie's. If you remember back to the Metro Court hostage crisis and Maxie's awful taste, um, Cooper was like one of the people who held the Metro Court up, but he got stuck in a safe with Maxie. So Maxie helped him escape and basically get like a real life in Port Charles afterwards. A lot of us thought that Cooper was going to be related to Brenda. That never came into fruition. So he was getting really close to figuring out who the actual text message killer was, but everybody thought it was him. And so he was killed by the text message killer. And that was in like January of 05, or I'm sorry, 05, 08. And they didn't catch the killer until March of 08. So he like operated all of those months without killing anyone. So I think a lot of us were hoping, well, I'll speak for myself. I was actually hoping that this current serial killer would clear the canvas of people who were kind of useless. Um, I don't know. Like traditionally, Port Charles serial killers have not killed a lot. Um, the text message killer operated with for 6 months and only killed 4 people and attacked a whole lot more. So our current serial killer looks like Diane is gonna make it. Is what, one of 3? So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Um, the text message killer will also text people, I'm coming for you, which is why he got that name. Um, and we found out later that it was Diego Alcazar who had been presumed dead before the killing started. So there was a lot of red herrings about who the serial killer could be, again, including Cooper Barrett being one of them. But it ended up being Diego Alcazar, who was getting revenge on Sonny for ordering the hit and Jason for like actually doing the hit of his uncle Luis Alcazar. Yeah, so just wanting to hear like what y'all remember of that storyline. I have like some other kind of facts and figures I can sprinkle throughout. But yeah, he strangled folks to death for the most part. I think at one point we thought it might have been Nicholas because he was also blacking out at the time. um yeah, so would love to hear what y'all remember of that storyline from way back in 07/08, pre all
oh,
years.
I remember that it was not originally supposed to be Diego, and people were furious, and they had to go back and make Georgie's death make sense. That's where all of a sudden he cares about Sage, who he never even heard about nor talked about while he was on the show. Um, but it was like one of the first times because like I don't think it was ever supposed to be Cooper, but one of the people it was like we were supposed, I think we guessed, and they came back, they extended it to like, ooh, how are we gonna make this make sense? And then like brought dude back to like re fucking kill him, like Diego. So that was the one thing I remember because like I was on the message boards being like, so if this is about Sonny and Jason, then why is he strangling Georgie to death? Like, make it make sense. And that's always what happens when they like go against their original plan. When it comes to a serial killer, once if you go against your original plan, it's like a domino. It's like a Jenga tower. Like you pull the wrong Jenga out, and now none of it makes sense, and it falls down. Because that's also what happened with Bobby being attacked with the hospital killer. Paul Hornsby wasn't even in the hospital at the time, and so they had to be like, "Well, it was Heather." Like, but I mean, compared to what we get nowadays, it was like Scorsese level storyline. It was great.
Yeah, well, with Georgie, Maxie was actually the intended target. So they had to like double back, like to be like,
Yeah,
oh, it was about Maxie. Oh, it was about Sage. So it was like even because Diego had like feelings for Georgie, and she was like pretty nice to him, and so it really didn't make any sense that he would kill her.
mm-hmm.
Tanya, what do you remember about that time, that killer?
I don't remember much. I just remember I was devastated at, Georgie being killed. Um, yeah, I mean, it was great having that recap, but it wasn't too memorable to me. I do know that most often when they do these serial killer, they kill off, like you said, people that, aren't really doing much or they're trying to get rid of. And if I'm to compare and contrast this one, I'm really hoping, well, I don't like who they've picked to kill. So because and in trying to think about who is it, Brando, like I don't understand. Brando hasn't picked off anyone, so seems like they were just trying to get rid of one of the random white guys, but he had more of a stake to he has more of a, I think to me he's more consequential than Dex or Cody. So I wish they would have targeted them. So yeah.
I think he was going after Jocelyn and
Yeah, he
Brandon.
was going after Jocelyn, but I mean the GH.
Oh, then
I mean,
choosing.
GH could have had somebody walk out of, could have had Dex walk out of, and killed him, or could have had Cody in the scene trying to do something and killed him instead. I just don't like who they're killing off.
Yeah.
And yeah.
The difference between like killing Brando and is like and versus who got killed in the text message killing is that like Brando is not anywhere near the level of importance that Georgie Jones or Emily Quartermain was.
That's true.
Like you could kill fucking 12 Brandos and I would just keep on chucking along. But like I still go back and watch the scenes when Mac and Maxie find Georgie.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like strangling Spinelli essentially because Spinelli's the one who found her. And then like Maxie ends up in the hospital. Robin has to finds out when they take her in. And I still go back and watch for various reasons Emily's death because like you had like the fucking liaison JSAM thing going down. You have like Nicholas breaking down. You have Jason breaking down. You have several people reading Jason, including Monica. It's just one of those like Brando's death affects nothing because you could stop showing Sasha tomorrow and I wouldn't be like, where's Sasha? I'd just be like, Sophia was great when she was around. I hope I hope Sasha's somewhere living a better life.
Yeah, I would also say that I thought a really impactful performance after Emily's death was Elizabeth. Like when she like monologued over Emily's body. Oh, I still get chills. It was beautiful. Like it's one of the reasons I really love like soap friend like women friendships because when I think of like Trina and Joss, I think a lot about Emily and Elizabeth. And that friendship. But I mean, we say Robin and Brenda and folks like that, but specifically I think a lot about Emily and Liz when I think about Trina and Josh's friendship. Um yeah, I agree. Like there were stakes in the morning. I feel like having so early them centering Sonny just is like, ugh. I mean, and I know the rumor is that maybe they're gonna it's like switch it to like being something that's like more about Trina. Um, but right now, like the rumors of it centering because there's actually nobody that you could kill except for Rory, maybe that would feel like it wasn't centering Sonny, or maybe like Hat Daddy. Like everybody is in relationship with Sonny, so
Yeah, I
you
think
know,
yeah, I think the problem with this is that almost every story is trying to center Sunny in some way, and it's pretty obvious. And that wasn't the case with the other killers. But I think right now the goal is to make Sunny popular or likable or something to soothe maybe Maurice Bernard's ego. I don't know. But it's not cool, and it's making the storyline even more less enticing. I was more intrigued when it was all about possibly um Esme. Um and centering, Nicholas and Ava, and the whole Esme, and then also having it be about Trina and all of that. That makes sense. That makes it more exciting. But when they kind of tilted it towards, oh, all of these people are related to Sunny, I was like, ugh, boo, why? I don't care. you know? So
yeah. I yeah, I would also say that I think if Sonny has to be there, like he should be supporting people. That's like actually how you build the next generation of soaps. So like Sonny should like Michael should be propped up by Sonny, not like propping. You know what I'm saying? Like we have people who are the next generation who we know are gonna who we know want to be soap actors, who we know are like around to be soap actors, and so it would serve the canvas to like put them in the best possible positions, not have them in constant conflict with like established characters that ends up hurting their characters. And so what we really need is people like Sonny kind of taking a back seat, being a mentor, being whatever to the next generation, and not having people like him being centered. And I say that fully knowing that I still want Vanna centered. But I think that they have more story to tell than Sunny Corinthos.
mhm.
We've actually heard and seen most of what we can see from Sunny without him quitting the mob. And that was actually what I thought we were getting from Nixon Falls. I thought the fallout from that would be him taking a step back. And what
Right.
the fallout is now is actually him taking a step forward and us seeing how he does not work as a mobster without Jason.
And they're giving us an alternative that works a lot better. Um Yeah, because I think it almost would have been more believable if it was Selena torturing.
Right.
She works because she's on the amount of time that Sunny should be on.
Right.
That's why her character works. If she was like in the center of every storyline, it would be too much Selena Wu. But like if you're gonna be that type of character who's very mysterious, who's got an obscene amount of power, you don't want to see that wielded all the time. That's the issue. It's like Sunny is just out here wielding this ungodly amount of power, but at the same time, y'all want to play like carceral state Port Charles, putting Spencer in jail, putting Trina on trial while Sonny's literally pulling people off the streets and putting them in trunks and beating their ass and torturing them.
Right.
You can't have it both ways. We went years without a single character getting further than the Port Charles County Jail. And now we have several people catching cases when you have not one but two fucking mobsters operating inside the city limits. It doesn't make any sense.
Right.
Mhm.
Right. And I think all that's right. And it also, for me, it feels like so much Sunny because he's not in a good relationship with his family. And I know I harp on that, but like he's not visiting Wiley and like hearing what Michael and Willow have going on. He's not visiting Spencer and like getting like a rundown of the cast. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if that was happening, that would be different. But the story is like legitimately not only him being there, but centering him. So like he is being like Sona is being centered in Brando's death, not Sasha and Gladys. Sona is being centered in his death. And I actually do like a lot of the scenes that are between Nina and Sasha. I feel like they're pretty good scene partners, and I feel like you can tell that Nina cares about Sasha. But girl, why you keep bringing up Nell to that girl? Sasha don't fuck with Nell. Sasha so hard didn't fuck with Nell that she ruined her relationship with Michael, like to get him away, to like make sure that Nell didn't have custody of Wiley. Mm-hmm. It's just like the centering, and I think that's to go back to the text message killer. Like we didn't really see that, and we didn't see it even though it was about Sonny. It was about Jason, but we didn't see that. And so even with that, like remembering that that's why Georgie was killed, you would think that Mac would always have smoke for Sonny. And like he used to, but he doesn't anymore. Yeah, so I felt like, to y'all point, people were way better utilized. I mean, I know that we're early on in this story, but like Sonny's family was acting funny about getting guarded. Like Trina's acting funny about not wanting to go to the Chuck. So I got pepper spray. Trina is way too smart to say some shit like I got pepper spray.
Steal one of them hatchets.
Like, come on. We have an actual killer on the loose. Let's behave as if we do.
I mean, the cops don't even care yet. Like that was the thing. The text message killer, like the PCPD was on alert for the entire time. Like all they were talking about. It was all they were doing. I mean, like we had several scenes of like people talking about anything but this serial killer. Like you have like fucking Mac talking about whether or not Stable Baby is his kid. Like any of us care about that. Obviously, it was one of the better scenes we got this week. But you got like Jordan having all the time to be investigating Portia's uterus and what was inside of it and who put it there. Like, girl, there is a serial killer. Like, leave Portia and her lies alone. This is not that's as much as I'll give Portia because hashtag Team Jordan. But you know, there is a serial killer. Like, you're mad that like Portia's team, whoever leaked the once again bitch ass snitch Finn, whoever leaked the stuff, but like, yeah, go find out who's cooking people. People are dying, Jordan. And so yeah, it's like it's not even a serious fucking storyline. Like Christina is not worried. Carly's like, well, Ian's keeping me in Florida, so I guess I'll stay. Like nobody fucking cares about this. Like, and that's why I kind of wanted to be Esme, just so we can say that even when you were hooking people, we still didn't care about you, girl.
Well, I'm also like looking at this like chart I have. Of course, I have a chart.
I was like, you have a chart.
Y'all know me. I do have a chart about the serial killer, and then like, let me see if I can. It's actually so absurd. I probably could share it. I wonder if I can share my screen with y'all. This is the absurd level of. Hold on. This is this.
Wow, you have links and everything to each character.
And this is why I didn't make it Am I the Asshole? Because I was doing this.
Oh my goodness.
Like, anyway. So I did want to run through a little bit of like some of the notable people who were like attacked but not killed. Basically all the Davis girls minus Molly. Alexis Davis was stalked, strangled, and survived. That was in January of 2008. Sam was drugged, stalked, strangled, kidnapped, like survived. Christina actually saw Diego and went into like a trance and like couldn't speak. And she was like traumatized from seeing somebody come back from the dead. So like people just thought she was crazy because everybody thought Diego's dead.
The early days of Christina being useless AF.
My God. Lucky was shot. They used to put Lucky through it, okay? Like Lucky used to really just like, I'm like,
Not Jonathan
out
Jackson.
here.
Greg Lucky went through it.
Yeah, Greg's lucky.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
well, so did JJ, to be honest. And then Nadine. Wait, how y'all saying Greg's lucky? Like JJ's lucky wasn't like fake killed by Helena.
Yeah, but
And,
that was
I
just
think he got blown up.
like,
what was it like once?
Well, what about the Siobhan thing? You know,
yeah,
Elizabeth killed Siobhan, and then he had to go through his man pain. He's still going through it.
he had to go through, yeah. He thought Jake was dead. Um, his brother cheated on his wife.
No, I mean he went through it relationship wise, but he wasn't like kidnapped or stalked.
Not sober, drunk. Sorry,
Yeah.
sorry, you know.
He got blown up. It's
That
Jason's
more
wrong.
relationship stuff, not like
My comfort scene. Sorry, y'all. I'm being extra. Okay. Now I have all these things open. Thankfully, I only shared the one thing with y'all. Y'all didn't see how many tabs I have open because that's when you would judge me.
I'm judging you right now. Just kidding.
So we also had Nadine. Y'all remember? You remember Nadine?
Nurse Nadine,
No.
yes.
Yeah,
They were trying to make her and Nicholas were on.
It was not cute. It was not a good look.
It was the in between because like what had happened was Nicholas cheated on Emily with Courtney, and so Emily was like, "Peace, bitch." And so then they were like, what are we gonna do with fucking Nicholas? Because like they got rid of or because Courtney died. And so they had like Nadine be like, wasn't she like Spencer's nanny or some shit? Or and so they were feeling it, and then like all of a sudden they're like, everybody hates this girl. Let's kill her, let's strangle her, and put Nem back together. And then they're like, oh my god, I have a better idea. Let's kill Emily. Like which got so I didn't see it coming.
I didn't either. Because they had Emily come down looking like a princess. She's about to be Spencer's stepmama.
Yeah, she was so happy about that. They were about to give like I was not a Nem fan. I did not like Emily because she was like, ooh, you know, I was a Carly fan. That's all you need to know. But like I was like, oh, okay, so we're just gonna do the Nem family. I assume Emily couldn't have kids because of her chemo. And so yeah, just take Courtney's stupid crusty baby. Like, you know, Courtney's crusty, not
stupid Chris. Okay.
Sorry, that came out weird. I meant to insult Courtney, and I feel like it backhanded onto Spencer. We love Spencer.
I get it though.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would love Spencer if Courtney wouldn't have died. I'm very glad she did me that favor.
Same.
But yeah, Nadine was drugged, kidnapped, and then survived. And I was like, that should have just been his last murder. Who cared about Nadine? Mm-hmm. It was stupid. Anyway, it's also why, and I've said so many times that I don't want Rory to be the killer.
Mm-hmm. You want him to be killed, right?
Yes, sure. I don't care about that. But I don't want them demonizing another man of color out of nowhere. Like I don't want it. I think
interesting enough.
I think Rory is boring and woo, he was really not good this week. It was very cute. Cameron was trying to be nice to him, and I was like, Cam, you hate this man. And Josh was like, that's why I like him. And I'm like, Josh, no, you don't. So he could go, but I just don't want him to be the killer. I mean, it is what it is. Like, who cares what I want? But I just am not here for them demonizing another man of color, specifically because of what they did with Diego and the text message killer. But what we do know is that Diane remembers being like her attacker being a woman. So I don't know if we're gonna have a situation like Scream where we have more than one killer, but we know there's a woman involved in some way. Do y'all have any other parallels between the Tex Witches killer and um the hooker? Um,
Could never. Like Chris and Dan are no like Guza had his issues, but Chris and Dan are no Bob Guza. They could never. Bob Guza had more ideas than his toenail clippings than Chris and Dan.
Wait, did I mention what Diego was texting people? Did I say that at the top?
Yeah, I'm kind of
Today, I'm coming for
I'm
you.
coming for you. And he said it, he did it because so his uncle had basically like kept him alive after everybody thought he died. And then they were gonna go to Argentina. That could be, I don't remember where they were going. It was somewhere in South America. They were gonna go because they had like all this like money and compounds and all the things. And so the last text that Alcazar sent him was, "I'm coming for you." And that's before Jason killed him. So if you remember during that time, Jason had gone on a trial for killing him. And they doctored some footage or something and made it seem like he was still alive. Like doctored some footage and like a fingerprint or something, so he would like go get money from a bank, whatever. And so Jason was like, cleared of the murder. So like, I think that's the other thing that made it really interesting is that like you saw the intentionality of all of these things coming together. So we'll see if the hooker has that kind of intentionality.
Diego should have had this smoke for Sky since she's the one who let Jason in the house.
Well, imagine that. Imagine anybody having smoke for Sky. I have nothing for Sky.
Hashtag Sky Quartermain Chandler is a bum.
Sky Quartermain Chandler might as well be Oprah to me.
Her just knocking on mansion doors. Are you my father? And Ray just coming out like, no, that's not it. Like Ray being for these streets.
Just like literally going down the eastern seaboard of ABC soaps and like hooking herself to rich families.
Ray was in the streets of Pine Valley, Landview, and Port Charles, we learned. Poor Monica.
Mm.
I mean, Monica was with Rick Weber, so it was fine. She was fine. But poor Leslie.
What one day we will revisit people talking about Alan and Monica as if it was a great love story and not like the most toxic shit you've ever seen in your life.
That's when I know you a new viewer. As soon as you start talking about any of the Quartermains as if they were salt of the earth, I know you are not a serious GH watcher or you have just begun.
Just like when they be having Edward come back with Lila, I'm like, Edward and Lila are not in the same place. This is a hallucination. Like, it's just not.
None of these characters are good. Like there are no like wholesome, like, oh my God, we could think of at least one thing that every character, and I know someone's gonna pop in either the YouTube comments or something like Lila. Lila decided to go full white woman on Mary May.
Sure did.
And I'll never forget it. So there.
Sure did. All right. Tonya, do you have any free for all hot takes for us? We can do a little round robin.
Sure. For Monday, I have like a curious note, and I don't know why I said it. I said Felicia watched Sunday Shift, and I'm not sure why I said that. But she made some comment that made me want to write that. And then I also wrote that Cody's annoying.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
I wrote Joss is so messy. She was like, Rory is definitely preferable, isn't he? Like, what a mess. And I love her.
I think my hot take would be it was very interesting to watch Kelly Thiebaud actively disassociate from her current storyline until she can go across the hall to Station 19. Because, like, first we saw Britt try to get into a new storyline. And she was like, what, Finn? You got news on the hooker? I got to cancel this date. And Finn was like, no, I'm not even talking about the hooker. I'm talking about Elizabeth's business some more. Don't worry about that. And she was like, shit. And so then, like, he gets there and, like, you know, Felicia's here, just take, like, hi, I'm here. Like, talk to Matt. And the whole time, like, Kelly's just there, like,
she was
like, why am I here?
it
the state's over.
was very giving me Cameron in Sacramento. After they told they told, like, as soon as they told Cameron Matson to, like, take his shirt off, he just, like,
Power down.
himself. Like, was already on his 5:50 flight back to LA. And so that was my favorite part.
Tonya.
I wrote for Tuesday. I was like, it's interesting how both Joss and Trina are dating men they don't really want to be with. And quit lying, Trina. I was like,
my God.
sorry, but I just think it's interesting.
Go ahead, please. You're correct.
I mean, they both want to date. They're both in their peak second season of Moesha phase, trying to date gang members. Like, because Trina wants to date this former future ex-con, and Josh is trying to date this criminal.
It's so funny that Tonya said that, because my note was they look like they were on double dates with their cousins. Absolute lack of Kim everywhere. That was my note. So
it's like they were trying to convince themselves, like Trina with her, this is the happiest I've been in my life. I'm like,
no, Trina.
Really not. Like,
Trina, I've seen you on that parapet with Spencer before we knew about Esme, okay?
right.
I seen it. I saw you thinking that I saw you, Trina. I've seen the whole thing. I saw you at the photo booth with Spencer. I saw you resetting the Wi-Fi password with Spencer. I saw you thinking he was stabbed by his by that fake scream mask. I've seen it all. And what I saw there is nothing like I've seen with you and Rory, friend.
as much as I don't want her to go to prison because I'm, like, overprotective aunt, she would have way more fun in the Pentonville visiting room than she was having at the Axe Bar. Like, let's just keep it 100, you know,
Real.
making memories there. Whole music video to, like, a Jodeci song.
Trina,
Right.
we've seen you happy and this ain't it.
And then, you know, William and Eden are just actively, like, William's just over here with his band. He's like, ooh, how long until I can just be on this band 24/7? And then Eden is over here trying to get her full soap heroin on. And to
Right.
do soap heroin, she needs to be on Love number 3. And so that's where she's at. She's like, okay, Oscar, Cam, now we're going to get baby Jason. And as soon as she gets baby Jason, she's going to be like, who's next? Over it. That's why we love Queen Eden.
Tonya?
You want me to keep going?
Yeah, well, I added on to yours. Go ahead.
Okay. I wrote, well, the only thing I wrote about the scenes with Sasha was that I love that blue couch. I wish it was purple.
I love your couch.
I'm so savage today. My God. I wrote, and so I was gushing over Vanna again, and Anna saying, "Let me get out of these wet clothes," and then she went and put on a sexy ass robe. Loved it. And then when with JPS or Valentine said, "I think I'm dreaming because you're even more beautiful by firelight," and it was like, "Thank you." Like, no, I'm fine. And I just, like, think about the fact that Vanna is Valentine's, like, for real dream come true. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so when he was like, I want to take it slow, and Anna was like, we can do that shit later. Like, you just have to remember that Valentin is putting his all into everything he's doing with Anna, because he might have even stopped dreaming about this when they became friends, because it might have been too much. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what he has always wanted. So he is going to treat every time like it could possibly be the last time. And I love that for Anna. I love that for her getting her back blown out every single time by Valentine, because he knows how special this is. Um, I just love it. I don't know if you know this about me, but I love it. And
Yeah,
that's
he literally said that on Friday. He's like, I want to remember everything, as
mm-hmm.
if this was going to be his last and only time with her. She
Yeah.
was like, sure, yeah, let's remember it. But he was like, no, I want to remember this and this and this. I was like, oh.
Because, like, it's clear Anna loves Valentine, right? But this is Valentine's, like, obsession turned to desire, turned to love. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is different for him. Like, Anna has had multiple loves. We've seen, like, multiple people could be like the love of Anna's life, depending on the time period that she's been in. Anna is it for Valentine. I don't know what's gonna happen to that man if and when they're not together. This is it. He's achieved. Like, this is the pinnacle. This is it. And I think that is, I just love that for Anna, and I love for Finola. 37 years into her career, she's able to play it. Yes, Queen.
It's got people calling the FCC because it's too hot, it's too steamy.
Mm-hmm.
You got 27-year-old women ain't able to elicit them types of reactions.
Listen.
And
Mhm.
I loved Anna being like, we'll go slow last time or next time, because last time she had sex with Krusty Finn. So he was like, honey, I'm ready. I am ready.
And there's gonna be a next time. Don't you worry.
Mm-hmm. Like, the quickest way to get into a knife fight on Twitter is to claim that one over another is Anna's great love.
Oh.
Like, legit. But like, if you were like anybody, I would never ever welcome or invite a comparison between Valentina or Vanna, because that's just a quick way to get yourself embarrassed on the timeline. Because like, the Vanna stands got all the receipts from the lust and the love from, like, what was it, 2016 to today. So
It's also different because Valentine wasn't rootable during Valentina.
yeah.
Like, he just wasn't. So, like, it's not just that the story is different and the chemistry is different, and like Vanna is just on its own level. Like, Valentina was more like, oh, look at these trash people together. You know what I mean? Like, it just wasn't. And it's also the, I mean, I'm not even gonna go there. Vanna is the standard. Nobody's touching it.
No, I just wanted to like clear up just for like the viewers. This is not me trying to come for Nina.
Oh,
I
I
wouldn't
was trying to
say
go.
that. I know that you would 100%, but people with me and my Carson self are like, oh, she's just hating me because of Carson. She's jealous. No, if I had to compare like Fina, like Franco and Nina and Valentina, I'd still say Franco and Nina. They were better. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Hashtag facts.
Hmm.
Valentine was a weird fucking get. Like, I didn't understand. I was like, okay, I understand that you lost out to Frizz, so you got to go somewhere. But it was always like you just randomly hooked up with some dude, and you were like, I can't be alone because I'm some broken white woman, and so let me marry this man. And it wasn't a cute look. And then she went full like one of the things. I'm not gonna say this is a writing issue. One of the main issues with bringing Nina into the Vanna situation is that her relationship with Charlotte was never a cute look. It wasn't something endearing. It did not bring you closer to that character, make you care about her. She was an obstacle for Lulu.
That's right.
That was that relationship. So like them and their constant like, oh my god, Nina talks to Charlotte. Nina should stop talking to Charlotte. Maybe she'd be a better person.
Yeah, I think, that's the interesting thing about the character of Nina is that there was no rest in between portrayers, but they're trying to make us believe that we didn't see the shit that we saw. You know what I'm saying? Like, so Liz should have smoke for Nina every time for what she did to Aiden. Like, Cam should be talking to Josh like, "Oh yeah, I don't fuck with Nina neither because what she did to my brother." You know what I mean? Like, it should be like constant smoke for her, and I think that would make her character more likable as opposed to her being like this. Oh no, let me dance out of the room. Let me be a little weirdo. Like, I'm a fun little adorkable. Like, nobody wants to see that because that's never been who she was. Um, and like this writing for her, I think if she was like a brand new character, because I think people like Cynthia, I think if she was a brand new character, it probably would be easier to take. But because like they have, in the same way people don't like, Cameron Matheson's like portrayal of Drew because it feels like different or whatever for them. I think that that's probably how I feel about Nina. I don't look at Cameron Matheson as Drew. Like, I'd look at him as Drew Lavery. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think of him as like, because Drew was like a made up character anyway. So I don't get offended. I think I probably would have got, if they tried to make him do more Drew things, like be with Sam or whatever, I'd probably be more offended. But I don't look at him as Drew, so it's not a problem for me. And there was a break and a rest between portrayers. There wasn't that for Nina, so now they're trying to like make me think I didn't see the things that I saw. Anyway, Tanya, next hot take.
Um, Next hot take is, what is up with all of these stalker men? And yes, I'm talking to you, Drew. First of all, it first started with the calling her 3 times in one day, then coming all the way to Florida uninvited, then videotaping her children. I mean, where was Sonny? Who was watching these kids when he was videotaping these children? How did he get? Like, I didn't understand. No, some people may think of these things as romantic, but I'm just like, no, I would have been worried. The first thing I would have asked him was like, so how are you able to videotape my children? It was sweet, but no, don't be videotaped. They don't know you like that.
She's also only been gone for 2 days. Like, why
Right.
is she acting like she's in jail for the past 6 months? Like, here's a videotape of your kids.
Yeah. I mean, speaking of them, so in my notes, I did say I thought it was cute. The video was cute. But I was saying that I hated the reminder that Drew has Jason memories. Ugh. Yeah,
Oh
it was
yeah.
bad. Oh no, no, no,
Like,
no.
yeah, I remember. I was like, how did you? And then I was like, oh, it's Jason. I was like, how do you know all this?
I turned into the girl from Get Out, like, no, 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 no. That was me. Like, oh no.
I mean, yeah. I agree with you with the no, 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 and I do agree that the video was cute, but it was still like concerning to me.
I got you.
Yeah.
I mean, all of the Corinthos kids have been raised by nannies, so he just friended the nanny on Facebook.
On Facebook.
And he was like, "Girl, where you at? You at the park? Okay, I'm gonna stop by." I was fake Jason. Avery would know I was fake Jason for a sec, so she's gonna be used to me. Like, like
Avery would know me. Avery would know.
she could tell the little one. Carson baby. That's what, like I said, sometimes people forget. They were like, when they killed Morgan, they were like, shit, we killed the actual Carson baby, and they had to give him a late life baby.
They sure did. That's exactly why they did it. And they also wanted them to continue to be connected. So like they have to talk about like, I mean, like Avery is a connection, obviously, but Avery's not Carly's kid. Donna is. And so, we see how the soaps do the things. That's why they gave Liaison Jake. But anyway.
Yeah.
What does Cody know about the Holtz? Oh, can somebody explain to me what was happening? Do y'all know what's going on with Austin? I don't get it.
So, so
Uh,
apparently what I wrote was like, oh, so Gatelin must be the name of the family that is holding Austin hostage in some kind of way. And then they're trying to make it, because you know how Cody was intrigued by the fact that Britt's father was, whoever. And then he's like, it seems like he seems to be really in tune to gang activity in some kind of way. So I feel like Austin's family is some sort of mob team. And then that whole hospital scene kind of confused me because I thought that maybe Austin was providing free medical treatment for their thugs, but it also seemed like he was going to kill the guy. So I didn't understand what was happening. But I think he's like their resident mob doctor and he doesn't want to be anymore.
the thing is, so like Charity Gatlin was like this. So the Nixon Falls storyline is actually a redo of a storyline from the 80s with Alan. And like Alan lost his memory and he ended up in Pawtuck and he meets Charity Gatlin, who is this like pub owner, and like she like hires Alan and they start to fall in love. This is why people thought that Austin might be Alan's son. And then, like, when he brought her back to Port Charles, obviously he knew he was married to Monica, and then she ends up with Jimmy Lee. Jimmy Lee is the long lost Quartermain. The only thing that's weird is that because I'm like looking at it, their timelines don't really overlap. Like, they leave in like 86. And like the cartel storyline, that's 90s. That's phase on.
You know they don't care
And
about that.
yeah, it's just really crazy to me, like how they're trying to like use all this history from like 40 years ago, but like it's not even correct because like you have like the Charity Gatlin, Jimmy Lee stuff that's happening in the mid 80s. You have like um Dominique and Co coming in like 1990, and then like the whole like Scott storyline happens in 93. And so none of these things coincide, like go into each other. They're Mac's not even on when like the Holtz and or when the Gatlins are on the show. So it's just a really like I don't care about any of these.
You gave us a whole history lesson, and I'm over here like, if they don't care about some shit that happened 2 years ago, they certainly don't care about something that happened in the 80s. If they're trying to rewrite like history from people who we know and we are seeing every day, they certainly do not care about rewriting history from people that we haven't seen since the 90s.
Here I am trying to make up some sort of mobster scenario. You're like, oh no, check, she's this and she's that. I was like, oh.
I mean, they could. That's the thing. It's like she's such a loose character who was just there to be drama for Monica and Alan. That like maybe she did have a secret mobbed up family, and like the cartel was definitely like Leopold Taub was definitely in the mob. Like that was a cartel storyline. So, but then they seem to really want Mac to be Cody's father, and like it's like ugh, I don't care about any of these people.
Okay.
Yeah, I definitely had in my notes. Wait, where did it go? Not begging this bum to want to be Mac's kid. That was my energy for Cody. Yeah.
My energy is the same energy, different day. Cody sucks always. That's all I got. But I did write for Wednesday when Spinelli said, "You shall not pass." Oh my God, the nerd in me squealed. I was like, yes. And then he starts talking about Star Wars and teaching daughter about Star Wars. I was so happy. I was like, that's that Disney plug. Even though Disney did not produce Lord of the Rings, still, I loved it.
When he did the Star Wars thing, I definitely thought about you. I was like, "Aw," and Ellie, not Ellie, and Georgie, like in Darth Vader. I was like,
yes. Okay. She loves a redemption story. I do too.
I do too. Um,
I like meth.
I said
You said mess or meth?
Meth.
mess.
I
I
like meth.
said
That'd be a weird, just like
I was
admission.
just
I
like,
like
what?
meth. Like what?
cut the cameras, dead ass.
Like all of a sudden, this goes from like Sunday shift to like an intervention. Like
Right.
Cut the cameras, cut the cameras. Um, I put A cab includes Spinelli. Get your fucking surveillance ass out of here. Like, what are you doing?
I cannot. I want to. Someone said it on Twitter, so it's not me. But they were like, so Spinelli can spy on the whole world, but he couldn't trace Esme's phone.
Yep.
Maybe it makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I think I said something like,
I think
"Oh,
it was you.
I think
Yeah.
I'm a computer genius now, huh? Interesting."
Yeah. Like, where was your computer genius during the Trina trial? I think that's what you tweeted, Tracy. I think. But yeah, loved it.
Annoyed.
Mm-hmm.
What else you got?
Um, the only thing I have is the clarinet is back.
Let's cock
Oh,
it, baby.
Curtis has a new white woman to prop. He's taking
who?
Ava. He's like, Hayden might not be back for a while, so I need a new bad girl, white girl. So I'm gonna do Ava. It's gonna be Nina and Ava, and they're besties, and they hang out. And so now he can just hang out, and they're gonna live together. It's so convenient for him, even though Laura is probably worth 18 Avas and Ninas, but
Yes.
he got a new one. I was proud of him. I don't know how Miss Wu is gonna feel because she clearly doesn't trust white women. You can tell that by her relationship with Britt. But I'm not sure if they're gonna be allowed in the champagne room, full access, Because Selena Wu remembers when Ava tried to look up to that five family meeting and got embarrassed by Michael. It was embarrassing for her. I was like,
That was like one of the things I was wondering about. This is like not in my hot text, but it was something I was thinking, which is that, sorry, this is my Nina hate again, but it just like doesn't make sense to me that people don't have a reaction to her. Like when they had Anna be like, "Congratulations on the hotel," girl, don't congratulate her. Don't make Anna do that. But like, I just can't imagine that Sonny's enemies, like they're always looking for weakness. And you're telling me that you don't find Nina, like his relationship with Nina, to be a weakness? You know what I mean? Like that your family, like actively, like you have been in court against them twice actively. That like you just showing up to the police station and that's good. Like nobody like thinks this is a problem. Like it just for me doesn't make sense that people don't have like I don't think that she stole the hotel from Carly. Like Carly made a bad business decision and need to pick it up. But people should have feelings about that. Like that is weird. In your real life, if you knew somebody who was like having an affair, cheated on his wife, got divorced, then that woman bought his wife's hotel when she was down on her luck, you would talk about that.
that's the plot to a Tyler Perry film.
Yes. You'd be like, what's wrong with her? She must really want to be old girl. You know what I'm saying? Like these would be conversations that people have. And the fact that we like are supposed to like overlook that as a conversation doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, it's because they just wanted Nina to have the Metro Court and Sonny, and they didn't want to deal with any of the fallout of her how she got the Metro Court and Sonny. They just like decided to not play that out whatsoever, and it's literally driving a huge chunk of the fan base crazy because like it's essentially the writers gaslighting us and telling us that like what Sonny did and what Nina did wasn't that deep, even though you've read and destroyed and actually murdered characters on this show for way less.
Yeah, I mean, it's also like part of the show and the fun of telling these kind of stories is the fallout.
Yeah.
Like, you wouldn't have to be searching for stupid shit for Sonny to do if you actually told the story that he was in and let it have the fallout. Let it breathe. Let relationships guide what's actually happening. I'm not one to say that bad things shouldn't happen to my fave. I'm saying that when they happen, they should have like significant impact on the canvas. It should be significant that Carly no longer owns the Metro Court and the woman who like her husband cheated on her with now does. That's interesting. Let's talk about that. Like, it's not, I'm not saying it shouldn't happen. I'm saying that, like, when you try to, like, gloss over it happening, it makes me not care about the character that did it. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just like, what was the point?
If we did that, then Maurice would have to learn his lines, and we can't have that.
Okay.
I'm sorry, let me stop being so messy on something that's not my podcast.
Listen, we do not care. Look, in the words of Stephen A. Smith, but in another context, we do not care. I was gonna also say, like, Sonny just like over here talking to Michael, like, I am who I am. Like, all right, Popeye, chill out. Like, okay. Like, I don't mean to offend your delicate sensibilities. This is who your dad is. Michael knows who his daddy is. His daddy is the same dude who ducked out the way when he got shot in the head. He's clear.
Mm-hmm.
This is the same man who shot his father in cold blood because he was too stupid to understand that the initials AJ weren't AJ Quartermain and they were Ava Jerome. Like, he's clear on who his dad is. Thanks.
Dad fell off a bridge because he couldn't read a sign that said bridge out. Oh, that shit don't apply to me. I'm Sonny Corinthos.
Speaking of, and let me just like have a couple more Sonny notes. Sonny, not a better person than Nicholas. Also, why? So Nina was like, Frank told me that Michael came by. Why Frank telling Nina anything about Michael? Don't even make sense. And like, Sonny should have, like, that shouldn't have been like something that just like rolled off the tongue and went somewhere. It should have been, why is he talking to you about this? That makes sense.
Because Ava's taking Frank away from Sonny. That's how sorry he is, because she can do that.
Yeah. And then I want to go back to something I think that, and this is my last hot take. No, two more. So this one, and then I'll go back. When Valentine was like, I think she's the answer, talking about Nina, I was like, there's never a question where that's actually true. And Anna's face said the exact same thing. The hell?
Anna was all of us.
But I also want to go back to something I feel like I didn't talk about it enough last week that really frustrated me, which was like Sonny and Diane scene where he was, because I went back and watched Michael on the stand with Scott, and the fact that Sonny behaved like Diane was in the wrong, but literally comforted Nina after Scott came for Michael on the stand. Listen, I get people don't like Michael, but not liking someone for me does not mean that their family should act against them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't have to like Michael to understand how Sonny should behave towards Michael. I don't like Nina, and I have already said I appreciate, I mean, I think she's a little selfish with it, but I appreciate some of the ways that she's shown up for Sasha. She should. That's like the relationship that they've established.
Sonny is wrong, and I mean, I'm not one of those people that hates Michael, but I don't know about his plot. His plot seems to be problematic, what he's trying to do. But Sonny is all the way wrong when it comes to Michael. Michael has every reason to have all the smoke against Sonny, and then some. Yeah. So, his whole attitude of, sorry if I'm offending your sensitive, feelings. I mean, he has every right to be sensitive. You killed his dad. You did all this kind of, you caused Morgan all kinds of trouble. I mean, Sonny's a horrible father. And, Michael has no business in this revenge game, but he also has every right to be angry and to come at Sonny every chance he gets. And so, I'm over Sonny and his attitude towards Michael and how he treats Michael. And yeah, agree with you.
The best out of all the adult children, like out of all of Carson's adult children, regardless of blood, the ones that are in their orbit, only one being written correctly is Jocelyn. She's got smoke for Sonny, but she's not out here making plans, right? She's just mad, which is as she should be mad. Like, this is a fucked up situation. It's not just fucked up for her mom, it's fucked up for herself. And that's the thing. I feel like with Michael and Sonny, like, they write Michael like a fucking child, and then they write Sonny's reaction as if he is punishing a child or disciplining a child. It's like Michael can be mad without actually doing anything besides cutting Sonny out of his life. This whole like Dex plan is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like, every time we see Michael by himself or with Dex or in the middle of his plan, you're like, what the fuck are you doing, Michael? It's so dumb. But anytime Michael and Sonny are in a room together, I'm Team Michael.
Yeah.
All the time, every time. There's nothing Sonny has said that has made me go, well, you're right, Sonny. Like, everything he says sounds completely insane. Like, him constantly bringing up Carly wanting the divorce. I'm not talking about my mother. I'm talking about that woman coming into my house and lying to my fucking face for 6 months. That's what I'm talking about. If you're Jocelyn, I'm talking about that woman coming into my father's house and lying to him for 6 months. Like, that's the thing. It's like, it's almost like with Portia and Jordan fighting, it was very clear that they were writing Jordan confronting Portia over Trina, Portia deflecting using Curtis. It was clear that that was what they were doing.
Right.
It's very unintentionally like them writing the adult kids being like, here's how I was wronged personally, and Sonny being like, stop being mad about Carly. And I'm sick of it.
Right.
I'm sick of it. If it's either like you need to write Sonny correctly or force Maurice to learn his fucking lines. Because like having him repeat the same thing over and 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 over again is getting so irritating. And it's to the point where every once in a while they'll have Nina say it and I could literally flip. Like when she's like, well, Carly wanted the divorce. I'm like, so you understand that you're writing Cynthia to say that her character's current paramour doesn't want to be with her. He would rather be with his wife, but his wife wanted a divorce. Do you not understand that that's what you're writing?
Right.
So you can have it like, oh, Nina didn't actually steal Sonny. No, she's just forever hit like a man's second choice. That's our likable Nina. And like I said, it's all in service of Sonny's character. Because if this was for Nina's character, she would have been able to stand in what she did.
Mm-hmm.
She would be able to stand in what she did. And then maybe in a few years, I could like her the way I like Ava. Because I hated Ava when she came on. Like, I hated Ava. I think I hated her until they burned her fucking face off. And then I was like, ooh, are we done? Are we done? And then they weren't done.
I wasn't ready. I didn't forgive her until a little bit into Ryan.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Yeah.
Because also, like, Morgan felt really personal to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, we watched Morgan be born. I mean, and it's different when they saw us a kid, but like when you see a kid born on screen and then like you see and you've like moved through life with them and then somebody wrongs them, it does for me feel really, really different. And her like explanation for what she did to Morgan, I was like, oh girl, hell no.
For a daughter you wish death on 6 months later? No, queen, no.
No. So yeah, no, it takes a while. And I mean, I think that, forgiveness is like, so if somebody does something that's like against a character that you hate, it's a lot easier to forgive, or so that person doesn't need forgiveness, but it's not good for their character. And I think that like one of the biggest mistakes was like centering both Carly and Sonny in like what happened, as opposed to telling a full story. Because just like I laid out all the reasons that Dante should have smoke for them, like nobody talks about that. Like nobody talks about like they have not brought back all of the reasons that Michael should have smoke. What was the purpose of having Nina come talk to Wiley and like tell him all these secrets if nobody found out that she did that? Like I thought it was gonna be like on like played back on some like video or like some kind of nanny cam or something and they found that out. Just nothing? Because that was crazy.
That was.
And it was like a reason that she shouldn't visit Wiley.
Mhm.
So I,
I have sorry if we're not done on
no,
this.
please, please.
I do have a couple of more hot takes.
Give it to us.
So one, I don't like them propping Nava through Elizabeth, one. And then I forgot who else, but it was just like ticking me off that everyone was like, give Nicholas a chance. He loves you. Elizabeth saying, I've only seen him love one other person before you. I was like, really? Because Nicholas has been in love a couple times.
Including
I mean,
you,
right? Right? So I'm like, you're just trying to prop up this relationship with this Nicholas? No.
No, that was really weird when she said it. And I was like saying something. I think I was talking to Jazz on the timeline. I was like, wasn't he supposedly in love with Gia? Now, I have many times said I don't care anything about Gia or bringing her back.
But he was in love with her. So I didn't like that. And I was mad because I was like, why? I was like, GH, why you have me agreeing with Sonny? Because I don't want to agree with Sonny about that. He was like, that's a toxic relationship. It's horrible. I was like, I agree. And I was like, wait a minute. I agree with Sonny. I did not like that. Also, Brooklyn, what is wrong with you? Sleep with that man already. I'm just like, stop it. The other one is, why isn't Cameron visiting Spencer? He said it specifically. Spencer's like, oh, are you going to visit me? And Cameron was like, yes, I'm going to visit you. And I was like, but he hasn't visited him. So.
But Cameron was the one who brought it up.
Yes. And so for have him not do it, now Spencer's going to be hurt. And then finally, Brooklyn, why did you just leave that bag of food on the floor? I was like, that food is gonna spoil by the time they get back. I was so mad. His place is gonna be stinking when they get home and they finally not make love again.
I love the journey that Sunday Shift has been on with Shalyn. I will say that I think that there are people who like give them a lot of smoke, and I'm just like, I don't understand the smoke, but I do understand that this shit is stupid. Like, and there's a lot of things that can be done. Like, I don't know where the actors stand on like sex on screen, but there's a way to write them that doesn't make them feel so immature.
Yeah, I really thought they were gonna do it. They could have been just kissing all the way to the back room and then turn off them back next scene and then wake up with them in bed or putting on their clothes. You know, anything could have happened, but at least as far as in our mind, they've slept together and they still haven't done that. And I'm just like, stop it. It makes no sense because they could have got a quickie right in before going to the hotel. It would not have been that long. They would not have been that distracted. She's like, we need to focus our energy. Girl, you have plenty of energy. Y'all are young. Go in, have the quick sex, keep it moving. That's all you have to do. Drawing it out like this is not cute or realistic.
It's not realistic because, like, let's just keep it 100. Like, 9 out of 10 times of sex, it's less than fucking 5 minutes. I don't know why it's Hollywood and television. For years when I was a teenager, you would think that like sex was like 4 or 5 hours. I was like, oh, I don't have to clear my day for this. It's really not. Really not. Just get it in, get it out. Like
and it's been a long time for both of them, so it certainly should go quick.
Right. Like Harvey made it from the bridge all the way to the Haunted Star, and Nina and Sonny were already done.
They were glowing in the what was it? Basking in the afterglow, like they write about it in the books.
I've had enough. Thank you.
I'm just it's not to like shade them just because they're the most recent one I can remember. Because like Vanna was very much portrayed as if like they were the 1 out of 10 time where you're having sex all day.
Oh
And
my!
so
Oh
I
yeah, you're going round after round.
Round
Vanna
after
was
round.
doing it.
there
Okay.
was like multiple sessions. They weren't sure if they've done it once or like 18 times.
Right.
Like I totally believe that with them. Everyone else, it's like get it in, get it out. Like we got stuff to do. Like I gotta get to sleep. And so yeah, it's ridiculous. Like y'all could have get. That's how you inspire people, Brooklyn. Come on now.
Hey, he would have been totally inspired
That's
by
how
that.
you inspire people.
He would have been. He would have been so energized and inspired.
That's what I'm saying.
I hope they're not trying to make us see this like performance. I'm tired of it. If they're gonna keep making Chase auto tune, I don't want. Just let's have, just like we can have implied sex, we can have implied performances. To be honest with you, I'm not interested.
Get Nell back here with her knife. That's how we're slashing more throats.
Yeah. To me, the only musical performance I want to see is Cam.
Yeah.
Cam back with his band.
Keep Cameron's throat safe, but everyone else.
Throat safe. My God. Do we have any more hot takes before we move to previews? I feel like we're devolving.
No, I'm good.
All right. Let's get to these previews. For some reason, I don't know why the spoiler. I get these from Flutter Me online. So if you follow her, you will get these spoilers as well. I think Sandra might do something more special than that. I do not do anything more special than that. But I think that for some reason, folks think that it's going to be preempted next Friday or Friday coming up. So I would have no way of knowing. But I only have 4 days of spoilers.
Why?
I don't know.
Friday.
Something with the US. I don't know.
Is it another
the hearing?
January 6th hearing?
Maybe.
Are they indicting Trump?
Only.
Oh hell no, they're protecting that office. Like it's going out of style. Just like have we not proven like as a nation that we do not care about this? Like, I care about it, obviously, but like the ratings on this cannot be like that great where they're like, let's cut into shit.
Well,
this is
if you watch Days, it will not be preempted because it just goes on Peacock.
This is the most important issue of our time, though, Tara. What are you thinking?
I'm thinking that we don't have anyone brave in Congress like they had in the 70s when America was busy not caring about Watergate. And so unfortunately, like it is what it is, too much special interest. But we don't need history lessons. We need GH previews.
Bring it.
No, you're always gonna get civics and a history lesson here. So we know from Soap Opera Digest that Esme returns next week and it's supposed to be explosive. She has a secret and something that's supposed to be keeping her safe from the Cassadines. I obviously think, and what most of us think, is a Cassadine baby in her belly.
Brenda! Got it. Sorry.
She better name that baby Brando.
Liam, Brando, Mike, Cassadine. Monday, Finn reassures Alexis. Dante seeks out Dex. Jocelyn and Trina have some girl talk. Spencer receives unexpected aid. Christina makes a request of Sonny. Tuesday, we're going back to Jacksonville. Carly confides in Drew. Ava visits Ryan. Nicholas resists Victor's request. Valentine makes a proposition to Michael. And Jocelyn makes a shocking discovery. Wednesday, Carly expresses her regret. Joss and Michael confront Sonny. Ryan can't believe his eyes. Ava puts in a good word. Curtis and Nina catch up. Know where I'm fast forwarding. Sorry, Laura, right?
Right.
Um, the sixth. The hooker strikes again. Finn and Liz meet up with Terry and Yuri. I'm so sorry, Terry and Yuri. Portia plays peacemaker between Curtis and Trina. Chase takes the stage at the Savoy. Cody avoids Maxie.
Ooh, the Rojo stands are gonna be throwing Maxie X Stable Baby.
Yeah.
Oh. Give me my Spixie.
Jesus.
Give it to me. That's all I want.
I don't want to see Spencer in jail.
No.
I don't want to see this. I mean, Esme coming back. I just don't want to see this late in life baby for Nicholas. It's not cute. It's not cute. Like, it's less cute to me when men have late in life babies. Like,
With their young mistresses.
yeah.
I will say, I love Avery Pohl. I think she's extremely talented. I did not miss Esme one
No.
bit. I want that little racist girl gone. Gone. Kill her. Hook her immediately. I mean, if you bring her back to hook her very quickly, fine. Other than that, I don't need to see her. They have taken this character so far out of bounds for me, and my fear is that they don't know that that's like what they've done. You know what I mean? Like they think that she's like salvageable when she's not salvageable for me. And I didn't miss her.
I don't want to see either a young adult pregnancy. Like, I don't want to see a 19-year-old be pregnant. I don't want to see some 48-year-old man be the father. I don't like I don't think her character is also salvageable whatsoever, but like if we were gonna bring her back, like I don't understand. They can't decide if these are like 13-year-olds or fucking 28-year-olds. Like there's no in between, there's no lightness, there's no levity. It's just like sex tapes and trials and unplanned pregnancies or maybe planned pregnancies where like you're out here trying to like create. And then it's the idea of like everything we're going through in real life with like the Dobbs decision and all that. And now you have this girl out here choosing to get pregnant with a baby she don't even fucking want to like use people while people in real life don't even have fucking rights. It's just not a cute look. And that's on top of like the Willow storyline, which I think they've completely just tried to back away from because they realized how horrendously bad it looks in the light of Roe being overturned. Like to have this woman be in a state, be in a financial situation where she can make that choice and they can actually make a statement being like, this is a necessary medical procedure. It's not about like loose women making bad choices. It's about something that's very necessary for a lot of women.
And we support loose women making bad choices.
Yeah, I 100%
Make all the
respect.
choices.
I really wish that we could argue for this right based off of my right to be loose and make bad choices since men are out here doing it all the time. Um, but unfortunately, like they gave themselves the perfect story to be like to give that, PC, oh, like here's the way to make it palatable. And instead they said no. A good mother would do anything for her child, including die when she didn't have to. Fuck Wiley. That's not really her kid. So obviously this one matters more. It's just everything about they need to stop having everyone in Port Charles needs to get an IUD. I need every woman in Port Charles to get an IUD. I need every man in Port Charles to get a reversible vasectomy. And we need to stop having babies for at least 5 years. No more babies in Port Charles. This is a barren town.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I
they can have babies. I just want no more male writers who write bullshit like this. Sorry, Tanya, go ahead.
I was like, and then on top of that, I don't like how I think they're probably going to just put aside that this white woman harassed Trina, almost putting her in jail.
Yep.
Racial implications of that. I don't like it. And I don't like, and even if they did touch on the story and they brought Molly back for this, I would be even super pissed at that.
They're gonna have Nicholas champion her for his child, which is also like you can also write a story where a man is like, I don't want this baby. like,
Right.
like I don't know. It's just all the way around is so bad. I hate the way like when women get pregnant on soaps, like now all of a sudden nothing bad can happen to them. Like she can't go to jail. She's pregnant with my child. There's plenty of pregnant bitches in jail right now. She can have that baby in jail. They'll let her go to GH to have the baby, and then she can go right back to fucking jail. Like, what's the problem? But like now, literally, we're gonna have like that's the main reason they had Ava moving with Nina. They had Ava moving with Nina so she wouldn't have to throw her out of that fucking castle when Esme popped back up with this baby. She could just already be someplace.
They're probably gonna have her hidden in the castle, and no one knows except Ryan that she's back.
I feel like if she's got a Cassadine baby, she's gonna want to drop that tea quick.
She's gonna want to, but Victor and his crazy ass. Well,
that's the only thing that could save this. If Victor just put a bag over her head and just locked her in that hotel room he had Lisa in Reese.
Right.
And just came back with the baby and just yeeted her.
Well, we've gone off the rails, friends. It's just like talking about kids.
We're almost 3 hours in, y'all.
Our bad.
Well,
oh, it's almost 3. All right. You know what? We're off the rails. We haven't had a long ass episode like this in a while. That was a deep dive. The deep dive
was very deep.
That makes a difference. That was very deep. That's what she said.
It was a very, very deep dive.
What she said. See. Well, friends, thank you for listening. This time next week, I'll be looking at JPS and Anna and Finola. Ugh, the dream. All right. Well, hopefully you will enjoy the episode, and we will talk to you soon.
Yes, thank you for having me. It's been fun.
Thanks.
I'm also happy to see Sandra next week or in 2 weeks. So.
Oh yeah, I don't forget to send me the play stuff.
Oh yes. Okay, we're still recording. Bye, y'all.
Bye.